technical stuff I try to stay away from.
Technophobe.
How
you doing, Mr. Moon?
I'm doing good. How are you?
It's good to see you.
Good to meet you. I'm sure we've probably ran into each other before, I'm sure.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people has told me you need to get him on here.
Yeah, nice. I'm kind of the resident music geek of my little circle of friends, for sure.
That's what I hear.
I can.
Will talked a good bit about you.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, I love Will.
Yeah.
I've known him. I'm sure everybody knows Will. I've known him since,
yeah,
late 80s and playing at the Puco. Good times.
It's fun. You just play basketball there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's been many moons ago, though.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Back when I was somewhat athletic.
Yeah. I was never too athletic.
So you play a lot of guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guitar, bass, mandolin, ukulele, play some drums, dabble in some keys and brass, and sing some.
Ooh, a jack of all trades.
A little bit. I mean, yeah, jack of all trades, master of none. Is that it?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Just like the dabble.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. It's good times. The music.
Yeah.
It definitely through a guitar, because I can be a little antisocial, and through the guitar, you've got a friend for life with the guitar, right?
Yeah.
Feeling down, you start strumming on that, it'll pick you up.
Right or wrong.
Yeah, and then you go out and meet other people that play, and you make some friends through your friend the guitar. So it's a good thing.
When you first started playing and stuff, what type of music or what person really influenced you into getting into it?
Oh, definitely the stuff I would have heard through my older siblings. Kind of that's the stuff I would have first played along with. The first thing I remember hearing is probably Elton John.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I can remember my sisters roller skating in the basement to Crocodile Rock. And my brother, he's about 10 years older than me, so I dug into quite a bit of his 8-tracks and vinyl. Yeah, you had Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Captain Fantastic.
It's a good one.
Yeah, the artwork on that, I just stare. It's like Hieronymus Bosch looking. A little kid with headphones on, just staring at that. You listen to that.
You know, they released that in two different types of vinyl. Well, not two different types, but they had a gatefold in and had a regular cover.
Okay.
For it.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
For me neither till I got them.
Yeah.
I did.
That's definitely some of my earliest memories of that. And he had the greatest hits, and I remember he had a Kiss, Love Gun, and Destroyer.
Oh, that was a good
I loved the Detroit Rock City.
Oh, yeah.
I was a little kid like I'm driving the car in it, That one, and it was the one that Gene sang on the God of Thunder. I always loved that.
Yeah.
When you're young, that's pretty cool. And he had with the 8 tracks
Actually, I actually have a Destroyer on 8-track.
Nice.
And it's one of the best clean sounding 8-tracks I got.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You still have an 8-track player then?
Yeah.
You do.
Actually, I have I have a little mini one right there.
Oh, yeah, nice, yeah.
Then the one I bought off of Jesse, that Apollo. I bought it off of him. It's right down over the hill there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I need to get one just so I can play my brother's old 8-tracks.
There you go.
He had a bunch of them from '77 that were highly influenced. Kansas, Point of No Return.
Oh, that's good.
Styx, Grand Illusion. He loved Styx. Him and my sister. Journey was another big one. What was the Queen, News of the World? That was a big one. Yeah. And then Rush, Farewell to Kings was the real big one. Listening to Xanadu, Singing Sex One, stuff that was very cinematic.
Yeah.
I just remember being a little kid in the dark with the headphones on, and you hear the wind and the bells and birds and all that stuff, and love stuff like that's real epic like that, and that kind of.
That's a great record.
Yeah.
Because the record like that, they were almost about ready to get canned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it was at the Crest of Steel.
Yeah.
It was just down the tube store. And they said, you need to make some hits. And they did 2112. And that was that's exactly what we didn't want you to do. But it caught on. And they were able to do their own thing. Mm-hmm. Through that band, definitely. I think that was one of the early influences. It was kind of the key to open Pandora's box of all that British prog rock stuff, Yes and all that. So that was highly influenced. But stuff I played with in the beginning is we talked earlier, the AC/DC, and I think it was playing along with the Zeppelin album, the first side of Physical Graffiti.
Yeah.
Where I was I think I'm actually kind of getting this. I'm actually kind of doing this, Just played with that quite a bit. And so definitely Page was a big, Neil Schon was a big first one got me into guitar.
He's got a heavy tone. He's got heavy fingers, man.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're aware of the early Journey stuff.
Yeah,
with
I got
Ainsley.
it.
Yeah,
Yep.
man, when they pre-Perry were like they're trying to be like the Mahavishnu Orchestra or something.
Yes.
It was like jazz fusion stuff, and just tearing it up, man.
Well, a lot of people don't realize him and the keyboard player,
Greg Raleigh.
Yeah, they were in Santana.
Yeah, they were a super group. They were originally called Journey was originally called the Golden Gate Rhythm Section, and it's like play behind different singers and stuff in the San Francisco Bay Area. And yeah, it was what Raleigh and Sean from Santana. Ainsley Dunbar just got done playing Zappa.
Yeah.
And then you had
And to play
Ross Valeries from the Steve Miller Band.
Yeah.
So they were a super group, and they just couldn't write hits. They were like a music, you know. They were. Someone said, "Well, you know, if you got a pretty singer and write those pretty ballads, you could guys be, you know,
You could be big.
yeah,
You won't be living in a van.
drinking milk and farting through silk in no times." And sure enough, you know, that was the Escape album. Millions sold, you know, and you still can't get away from that. And the Don't Stop Believing. And, you know, I like that stuff, but I kind of like when they just trying to be like a jazz fusion band, you know.
You know, like say,
Sweating, you know.
You know, Ainsley coming from Frank Zappa, man, you got to be.
Yeah. To play, I mean, that's, you know, that's a whole, we could still just talk to him all, for the next 2 hours, you know. He's his own genre, you know,
Yes.
Zappa.
Oh.
Finding Clear on the Z section. And he's just, what
that-
is this? You know?
That's one thing people never give him any credit for being an outstanding guitar player.
Yeah, he's very unique. He didn't play like your usual guitarist. You know, he's, sorry.
No, you're all right.
Where most guitarists do that thing when they go up, they have like these lines where they kind of go up and do that big bend on the top.
Yeah.
He would like go the other way, play like in reverse and do these weird scales and just.
I think he just made stuff up as he was just going.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the lead guitar, isn't it? You know, he would put these insane rhythm sections together, and he can just dance on top of it with his fingers there. You know, because that you listen to some of that stuff like the Rollo section of St. Alfonso's Pancake Breakfast. That's insanity, man. It's like, what is this guy on? And it was actually, he's not on nothing. And you couldn't be on anything playing that music, trying to play that, you know?
It's good stuff.
That was the first thing I heard of, ever heard of Frank Zappa was in the Boy Scouts. I was probably like 10 or 11. And the Scoutmaster was kind of cracking up on all the like 60s and 70s bands I knew about. You know about them, Kansas and all this stuff. And he was into them. And he goes, you ever heard of Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention? I'm like, what's that, you know? He goes, man, I don't know, but if you're not on drugs and you listen to that, you will be afterwards. He's like saying this to like a 10-year-old kid. And I'm like, I got to find it, obviously, you know?
Okay.
That always blew me away, that the fact that, he was completely straight. He didn't, and he'd kick you out if you even smoked a joint in that band, you
It's
know?
crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's very intricate music.
Yeah.
Play that stuff. It's not like just a jam band going out and jamming and this stuff. You got to. They did a lot of that too, the jamming, but
Yeah.
some intricate music going on for sure.
Yes, they were. They were just top-notch musicians straight out of the gate.
Oh man, he just had so many badasses go through his ranks.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I mean, you got George Duke and Chester Thompson on the drums, and of course Vi, Baloo. But my favorite was always Ruth Underwood was his main weapon on them vibes on the marambas and the she's unbelievable, man.
Busting it loose.
The xylophone. Yeah, definitely. I actually got to see him.
Oh, you seen Frank?
Yeah, I got to see him. Yeah, back in '88, his last tour.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How was that?
I've seen his. I don't remember it quite that well. I remember it was around the time the Jerry Falwell thing was going on. He was harking on that quite a bit, making lots of jokes. I remember him playing Whipping Post. That was pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we're trying to get him to play the song Bobby Brown. That one cracked us up. But I've seen his son,
Dweezil?
Dweezil and Zappa play Zappa. I've seen him 9 or 10 times at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love it. I'm all about it. Whenever he comes through, I go check it out.
He's a hell of a guitar player.
Oh yeah, he's a shredder for sure.
Yeah.
And now he's playing like his dad's stuff, and he's got it down. That's definitely not a style that's easy to emulate.
Well, he's such a good musician. You know, he can pull it off.
Yeah, and does and reads the music and all that, and deconstructs it and gets it down.
Well, he had one of the best guys. Basically, he gave him his first guitar.
Steve, yeah.
Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Steve Vai gave him guitar lessons actually. Yeah, he talks. Yeah, that's right. Eddie Van Halen comes walking and gives you your first guitar. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I know we were talking earlier about some of the first concerts you went to.
Yeah, Frank. The very first one I remember is Cheap Trick, High State Fair, about '82.
Oh, really?
The dude with all the different guitars.
Yeah.
So Rick Nielsen's.
Yeah.
And the one that looked like him and everything. And I saw like Rush with Fastway in '84.
Now, Fastway, that was a band.
Yeah.
That was a
Say
band.
what you will. It was a Fast Eddie Clark and
You had Jerry Shirley on drums, and you had the dude who went
Pete Best.
Dave King, who went to form Flogging Molly. Who was-
the singer. Yeah.
You know, he still denies even being in Fastway.
That's odd.
It's like, wait a minute, dude.
Yeah.
That's what made
Well,
you.
it's kind of weird. This is the Flogging Molly. It's definitely very different than what Fastway is. Kind of almost a little bit hairband kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Loved it with the movie Trick or Treat. That cheesy.
That was
Loved
good. It's a corny movie, but the
I love it. The
soundtrack,
soundtrack is I love
was
it.
on point.
I watch that every Halloween. You know. But yeah, that's good stuff. Definitely. And of course, we go on to find Fast Eddie played Motorhead. Finding that out. You know.
You can't beat. Yeah, as you can tell, you know,
Oh yeah.
I like Motorhead.
Long live Lemmy.
Yeah, well, actually, that was my daughter's first concert was to see Motorhead.
Is she still here?
It was funny. It's at the Newport Music Hall, out of all things.
Okay.
This is when that smoking band came in, and he walks out on stage.
He's burning.
Oh, that's right. You can't do that. He put it out on stage and goes, you know, hits the bass, da 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 da, does all that stuff, and he goes, "We on Motorhead, we play rock and roll."
Yeah.
Da, da, da. You know, then he kicked right into it.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
They're awesome. He was so awesome. He just
They were one of the best.
lived it like he preached it. Definitely that original trio too with Filthy Phil and Fast Eddie. It's just like, you just look at them. It's like that looks like a badass rock band. Like these three bikers are going to cut you. You know what I'm saying? Just
Or Mexicans.
yeah, with the damn Ace of Spades cover. Yeah. No, they're excellent. It's probably definitely the I'd say probably the loudest band I've ever seen was Motorhead. Yeah. Most people say Hair Arena '88. They opened for Overkill, opened for them.
You have to be loud.
Yeah, and then Motorhead, insanely loud, and then they opened for Slayer on their South of Heaven. That was loud. And
you seen that?
Yeah, at the Hair Arena '88, and the following years, probably the second loudest show was also at Hera. Was a Metallica with Queensryche on the Injustice for All, and I know the dude, Jason Newsted. I knew he must have had a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Not being able to hear his bass on the album because live, you could hear him live. I thought my ears were going to implode from this dude's bass cab. Seriously, it was painfully loud. Actually,
Really?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You know, I've never had a chance to see him,
Metallica.
You know, some things just never lined up or whatever, and never got to see him.
Yeah,
As of yet.
Well, I kind of worshipped them in the '80s, and then the Black Album just kind of lost me with that. It became Rock-talica, Bob Rock-talica. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's still great stuff, I suppose, but I just kind of lost interest with them because I definitely I worshipped them in the '80s when I first heard them. Because like we were talking earlier, like I felt like I was born a couple decades too late musically, because as I was coming up in the '80s, here comes MTV and everything's getting all polished and poppy and Michael Jackson. I mean, that stuff's fine and whatever, but like the popular music I love, this is kind of with all the loud guitars and all that. It's like it was. I mean, you had that with like the hairball bands, you know what I'm saying, the Poisons and Crews and all that. And
Hairball.
I could never really get with it. I could never really get with this. I mean, now I love them compared to what's popular now. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, it's like, man, we missed out on the Zeppelin and Sabbath and all these bands back in the day, you know. And I don't know, I just couldn't get. But then I heard like Maiden was one, and I remember I was helping a buddy of mine, but there's just no bands of that era I could really get with. And I was helping a buddy of mine, it's probably around '86, '87, move a drum set and run his brother's truck, and this song fades in, and it's Orion. Mm-hmm. And then by the time it kicks into that, man, I was like, what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? And it was as Metallica Master of Puppets, and after that I was a metalhead, you know. It's like I finally found a band for me, you know, I can get behind, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I do.
And started finding the thrash stuff then, you know.
That's when it really went downhill.
Yeah, what's that?
That thrash. As
Oh.
soon as you get that bug.
Oh, but yeah, I
Then
see
it's
what
like-
you're saying. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. They're the first one, like we talked about earlier, SOD. We picked that up and like, man, this is crazy, you know, the lyrics and everything. And then just kind of follow suit. So Slayer, Anthrax, Megadeth, and all that.
Yeah.
I loved Exodus. Saw them quite a few times.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Back yeah.
I know you were talking earlier. You seen Death.
Yep. Saw them with Obituary one time and some with Pestilence. That's what I can remember of it, actually. Yeah. So that was the thing to do back, the 80s, 90s was
Go to concerts.
go up to the Newport. I've probably seen 100 shows there. I go up there
Really?
and not even know who's the band.
Yeah.
It's like $10, $15 and check it out,
You never know.
Yeah, the one that blew me away. I was talking about the thrash bands, and I see it right there. And I saw them on that tour as well. Twisting the Form, but Forbidden, dude, Forbidden. I saw them on the first tour. And they opened for Exodus, the Forbidden Evil tour, and I was probably 16, right up front. That singer with the big long red hair, like, right in my face.
Russ.
Yeah,
That's his name, Russ.
Russ Anderson or something. Russ.
Yeah, Russell.
Great big redhead guy, and they were just tight.
Yeah.
They had, they had Bostoff on the drums for Slayer nicked him.
Yeah.
Basically ruined that band. But for me, like out of the metal bands I've seen the Big Four several times, and Forbidden blew me away, man. That band's insane. And saw them on that tour as well with the band called Forced Entry. You remember that?
Yeah, I've heard of Forced
Killer.
Entry.
Both bands were just
Yeah,
killer.
they had that crazy cover of like a tornado.
Uncertain Future, I think it was called. And then the one to that was called As Above, So Below. That one's killer guitar and real intricate rhythms. And love it. And they're killer live, too. One of those bands that, a lot of those metal bands, they sound so great in the studio, and you go see them live, and they can have an off night. It'd be kind of muddy sound. But
Yeah.
these bands were tight and just sounded really good,
That's what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when you hear that. Yeah, I know, probably the loudest concert I ever went to was Thin Lizzy.
Thin Lizzy, nice.
At Alrosa.
Nice.
That's when Dave Sykes was, he got them back together and
Yeah.
they toured. Yeah, that was stupid loud. There's maybe 15 of us.
Was Phil alive then, or was this?
No.
Okay.
No,
When he died, he died like
90s,
90s,
I think early 90s or something like that. But yeah, he took over the reins of it and, went on.
yeah.
I got to meet him backstage and stuff.
Nice.
I thought, man, this dude's big.
You big old dude, huh?
He's not really he wasn't all that tall, but he just had this big ass head, all this blonde hair, and he looked like he was about that wide.
Yeah.
But
Killer
man,
guitarist, yeah.
but yeah, there's like 15 of us in there, dude, and it was headache loud. My ears rang for like 3 weeks after that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
buzz.
It gets in small places like that. It gets pretty loud.
Especially Alrosa, man, it was so loud now.
Yeah, I saw it was Ministry, and somebody there. Ministry was painfully loud. I saw them there. It seems like
I actually seen Machine Head there. It
nice,
was loud.
nice. Yeah, that's the dude. He played with Forbidden, didn't he? That's the guy. I think or it was the band Rob Flynn. He was with Forbidden. And I think he was with Violence for a while. I thought
That's
he
it, that's it,
I thought
Violence.
was Machine Head. I thought he had something to do with that as well. But
Oh, hell, they've all rotated, it seems like, one time or another.
yeah, they're one of those Bay Area bands. There's so many of them. There was definitely a scene with Metallica.
Yeah.
And all those bands that came from that. Exodus was from there. Testament, Death Angel, love Death Angel. Act 3, that's a killer album. I saw them on that tour. I got to see
Jesus.
that. Yeah, saw a bunch of them back in the day. I don't go to many shows these days, but like I said, just in the late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah, believe it or not, you're actually the first person I've ever talked to who's seen Death.
Yeah.
In
really?
concert, yeah.
A couple of times. I still get the old shirt, this white shirt, it's got the little logo on it with the. They're good. I hate to admit it, but I was more into the Obituary at the time, and I was more into Pestilence at the time. But I dug Death. They got even more technical as they started going on. The Symbiotic, I think it's called, or yeah, they got wild progressive stuff going to them.
They just reissued that album,
Yeah,
and that's
okay.
the only one I need to finish up my catalog
collection
of Death.
Of Death.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've got their first Scream Bloody Gore.
Yeah.
The old school stuff, the Leprosy and
Did you say
spiritual
you've seen
healing.
them on that tour, Leprosy?
Yeah. I think that was with I think they were with Pestilence then, I believe. I don't know. A lot of them, those shows, they kind of blend. I still got some of the ticket stubs.
Yeah.
I miss the ticket stubs. Now I have
Yeah,
to
me
like
too. Now it's
write
like,
out-
it's on my phone.
yeah, I have to write it down on a piece of paper and save it with my ticket stubs just so I remember it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I did. Like a lot of my tickets, I just wrote on the back end. I was like, who was opening.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh
oh.
yeah. Because definitely would forget so many of them just kind of blend together for sure.
It's funny when we were just BSing a little bit. We went to the same Maiden concert back
Yeah.
in '87.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
The Summer in Time tour. That one was. That
Yeah.
was.
And Wasted was good.
Yeah.
Loud.
I have to admit, I don't remember them too well.
Yeah.
But I certainly remember Maiden and doing the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. And he came, I used to open with Summer in Time. He had that,
Yeah.
had
Had that
that
vest
freaking
on.
Blade Runner looking set and that weird vest with the lights and stuff. And oh, they sounded so killer that night.
Was that the only time you'd seen them?
No, I saw him a couple years later, and that show was a disaster. That was at Cincinnati Gardens with Anthrax opening on their No Prayer for the Dying.
Okay.
We got there late. It was in the winter. We were standing out standing in a freaking line. And we heard Anthrax coming on. Got in there late, and Maiden finally comes on, and Dickinson's voice was kind of shot. The sound wasn't very good. Went to leave in the van, and someone had put a bottle behind and got a flat. And that was just that night was memorable for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But then the last time I saw him was Riverbend 5 or 6 years ago. They came by on something of the Beast tour. It was like basically a retrospective tour, and they came out and just played. And yeah,
Was the Raven Age open up for him?
who was it?
The Raven Age.
I don't remember that. I don't remember. Just a buddy of mine had a ticket and went and saw them down there, and they sounded fantastic. It was great.
Yeah, that's when they had like the big Icarus.
Yeah.
We went. I think we went to that. That same
you at
show.
that one? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's good. Everybody singing along and everything. It's just
That was a good show.
They're hard to beat for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, Dickinson's such a killer, and Steve Harris, he's just God, you know.
Well, you put him and Geddy Lee, and you put Geezer. Right there is probably like in heavy metal and type stuff like that. Those three right there are probably the ones that you want to probably model.
Yeah, some busy bassist for sure. You know, like,
Especially Geezer, man, he's all over the place.
he walks all over it. Geddy's got a unique style. He's kind of just all over the place musically.
Yeah.
Harris has just got that gallop, man, that heavy gallop, you know.
And what's funny about it, he plays chords.
Yeah.
No,
Killer. He's so fun to watch. I love how the guitarist in the band, except for what's the new guy, Jans, whatever. He's a little bit annoying. He's like the Joker of the band running around. The other two's just always just very kind of subdued and back there, real quiet, you know.
laying it down.
Yeah. And it's usually the bass doing that. Now he's up right up front with Dickinson getting in people's face. Oh, he's so badass live, man.
Yeah.
You see him like at interviews, Steve Harris, and he's so quiet. And,
Yeah. Oh, it's okay.
yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I'll take a bit of tea. You know, and he gets on stage, he is Eddie. You know what I'm saying? He is Maiden. He just, yeah.
It seems like Bruce is always,
Yeah.
you know, you see him in interviews, he gets all, fidgety and stuff. He wants to jump around.
Yeah, very theatrical, animated fella.
Well, it's
for
about
sure.
like Nico.
Yeah.
He's always like, oh.
Yeah, he's fun. So much fun.
Yeah.
And fun to watch too play. I mean, just such a busy the Tommy Lee system. It's like watching an octopus. You know? The way he sets his drums up is crazy. You know, you
Yeah.
think it would really tire you out, your arms and everything.
Yeah, they're all
Kinda like
over.
him down low. He's like clear up here doing all this.
About like Neil Peart.
Yeah.
Got drums everywhere.
Yeah, with the spinning drum set. I've seen him. This is a fun fact. I've seen Rush more than any other band 19 times. And the 19th time was exactly 10 years ago tonight, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was their farewell R40 tour. And they never disappointed. They made some albums that disappointed me, but live, they were always good. Peart always did the big drum set and everything. Yeah. They were always great live. I've seen Geddy 20 times if you count his book tour, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wrote that little biography.
Yeah. I mean, you were talking about, some of the albums, didn't quite sit well with you, of Russian stuff.
Oh, yeah, they had a period that's like embarrassed. It's like, I was a fan.
But, it's still Rush. They still got that.
Yeah, they're just, I admire them for not just, doing the same thing over and over. They were always exploring. As a band, was always searching, exploring. Let's try something, let's try this, And they're always kind of with whatever was popular at the time, but kind of doing it in their own way,
Yeah.
But yeah, they're kind of starting with the Signals album. That's an appropriate
Yeah.
title because it signaled like the era of the big synth.
Yeah.
And all these synthesizers and noises like, Getty, play your bass, man. You know, and the music just kind of got lighter, poppier than like those first 8 classic albums. Their classic eras when they had their that fourth member, Terry Brown, that producer.
Yeah.
That stuff's all just mandatory, man. Yeah. They sound so good, and the music's just really on point. They had that cinematic thing. That's what I love about Rush. One of those bands you can close your eyes and just takes you someplace, takes you on a ride.
It's like
or read the lyrics, and the music really follows the lyrics. You know, I mean, it fits with it. You know, just thematically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't. Neil Peart wrote all the damn lyrics.
Yeah, which is kind of wild.
I mean, he'd read about 2 or 3 books, and that sounds like a record album.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He'd sit down and start doodling.
Yeah. And some of them very thought provoking. He got a little preachy towards the end there, you know, but yeah, a little
It's
like,
Rush.
Yeah, the stuff like Red Barchetta and stuff like that kind of tells a little story. It's this kind of sci-fi dystopian story, you know, warning or whatever, you know. Very interesting. And nerd rock, man. They're nerd rock, you know. Not a whole lot of that's what they call a hot woman at a Rush concert. They call them Getty corns, you know what I'm saying? You don't see that.
Dime a dozen.
It's like Dungeons and Dragons sci-fi. You know? This I think is Rolling Stones to the Rush fans with the Trekkies of rock and roll. You know,
I believe it.
Very, very passionate about their band. Probably second only really like the Grateful Dead. You know, Deadheads.
Yeah.
You can't get more.
I guess they were talking about kicking it back out again.
What's that?
Rush.
What?
Yeah. I don't know who they're going to get as a drummer or anything like that. But
I can't see them doing that, but maybe like a one-off type kind of thing. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if they were going to get somebody though, the cat from Dream Theater.
Yeah, he's about the only one that can pull it off.
He's like, well, he worships him. He's got what's the dude's name? I forget his name. But yeah, he's can play them. I saw him do a thing a while back for DW Drums where they came out and did they played a bunch of like obscure Rush stuff. Mm-hmm. He had who's the guitar player? Damn. I mean, he had the singer from Dangerous Toys singing for him, and he sounded killer. He's hitting that high Getty notes, you know, like when they played like Signal Sex 1 and 2112, and back when Getty was like, you know, peeling the paint off the ceiling. His pants were way tight. So that's a big thing. A lot of people, they can't stand that voice, and I get it. He sounds like Robert Plant on helium, you know what I'm saying? But I always thought it's funny, and it just worked for them.
Yeah.
Just their style just works, you know.
Yeah, I think the first time I heard that song, "Working Man."
Yeah,
it was on QFM 96. Seemed like everything back then I heard off QFM 96.
Sure,
because that's what everybody was listening to.
Oh yeah,
because they played nothing but classic rock.
Yeah,
like I was telling you, that was the first time I heard Maiden
on QFM.
Yeah, where they played "Running Free."
Yeah,
that's still one of my favorite records.
Yeah,
their first record is still my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it falls into, as we were talking, you know, the Power Slave.
Oh.
And then I got Peace of Mind.
Those two are and Killers is big for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Power Slave's their peak, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a little pyramid. That's a peak. So every song on that is just and the production of it, and you know. That's the one that opens with Aces High, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the one I told you I borrowed a cassette of a friend of mine of the Live After Death, and it opens with the Churchill speech and the Aces High. So that opens when I finally got Power Slave, and it opens. I'm like, nice. Then Rhyme the Ancient Mariner closes it. Yeah. That's probably like my 2 favorite songs by him, really. And that, and I love the Flight of Icarus. Is so classic. I love that.
Yeah.
That scream he does at the end, in the video, and he's hits that big ass. It's like, what was that, man?
It's like saying, you know, on Run to the Hills, that final scream.
Yeah. Whoa! You're like, good Lord, man. Yeah, something else. They call him the air raid siren.
Yeah.
His nickname.
Well, yeah, I figure he was in his 20s, man. He was rolling.
Oh yeah, he goes. I think they're doing a tour. They're getting ready to do another tour. For God's sakes.
Yeah.
Remember they're pushing late 60s now, right? I mean, got to
at least.
Yeah, and so I don't think he's hitting too many of those notes like he was back then. But
I've seen him 4 times, and the last time I seen him, you know, they still sound good.
Yeah.
But you know, if you go to see Maiden, you know you're not going to get that air raid siren scream. You're just not going to get it.
He's brought it down a little bit for sure, but still out there and doing it though. So
he's staying in his lane. He's doing his thing.
That lead singer thing, especially of music like that's easiest, toughest gig in the band.
Yes. Yes.
Because I mean, you know, just show up and there's the microphone, and you know, and
Go do it.
everybody's watching you. You're the MC, and
Yeah.
but if you show up and that voice isn't there, that's
You're gone.
yeah. I mean, that is your instrument, you know. So
Yeah.
that's
Well, just
it's always
like-
somebody that them guys doing that night after night. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
if you get a cold or something, sore throat, and you got to go out there and do that.
You better hit that lemon juice.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's
Yeah.
good. I mean, that's what sets him apart and that makes him a pro, I suppose. You know, Deano couldn't handle that. You know?
Yeah.
He's partying and he's go to sing and his voice is gone, you know.
Yeah, his Deano had his voice was perfect for those first two records.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
And that was it.
You know, menacing sounding and just
Yeah.
They were scared. They were kind of scarier with them for sure. You know,
Yeah.
give him that kind of a punk edge and
Yeah, and there's no way he could have done Number of the Beast.
no, he's not hitting those notes.
You know, with Hallowed Be Thy Name. It's
yeah, and the big scream when the Number of the Beast kicks in.
there's his voice would have been shredded a million pieces
No,
after that.
no. They did. That's when they started going to more prog route for sure.
Yeah.
Once they got Dickinson in there, and that definitely with McBain, and they definitely got they were able to get very very progressive then.
Yeah, I think they really went prog on Somewhere in Time.
Yeah.
And then it really kicked into high gear with Seventh Son.
Oh, definitely the whole concept album.
Yeah. Then Fear of the Dark, I think they went back on the roots a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, with the heavier songs. And they said, all right, we've done that stuff. Or, you know, we're still
Yeah.
going to be a heavy band, but we're going to do our thing.
That always bothered me. The show we're just talking about this Summer in Time, they didn't make a film of that concert, man.
I wish
And
they would
They
have.
did with the Seventh Son. It's like that stage set was so lame, man. It's just
Yeah.
like it's like some weird moonscape or something. Or with the damn the Summer in Time with the cyborg Eddie and the big balloon hands and the head on the drum riser and all that.
Yeah,
I think it was really. I mean, their coolest stage design, really.
Yeah, because when we were watching that.
Blade Runner.
Yeah. You know, at the end of the show, you know, when the head goes up and the drums went up with
Yeah.
it, it's like, oh, that was sweet.
Yeah, that's killer. And the big and the wild looking eye, and it's so good, man.
And people knew it was a balloon because it was going.
Yeah.
It's a little corny, but you know, it was cool back then.
Oh, that's killer. I love it.
It's good. It's good
Put on
times.
such a show, man. Such a big theatrical show.
Yeah.
Which is fun. You get your money's worth of them boys for sure. you
Same
know.
way with Kiss.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get your boom, boom, pop, pop fireworks on every song, it seems like.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, it's a Kiss show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss. That's Geddy Lee had a cool quote about them. It's like, whatever you want to say about Kiss, musically or otherwise, there's no other band out there that works harder to put on a huge bombastic show and get
they
your
do.
money's worth than Kiss, you know. Whether you think of the music, you know, whatever, you know, because the thing with them, with a lot of people, especially now with the way metal is and everything, now they look at Kiss and think it's going to be like War, their music sounds like how they look.
Yeah.
Kiss is going to be like this demonic rock and they come out and do Beth. Right, you know, I was made for loving you, you know. And
That's probably.
I kind of like that song actually, but yeah. But you know what I'm saying? It's like they don't kind of sound like they look, you know.
Yeah. Because I actually, I think it's back in 79 or 80 when that came out. I actually got that on
The Kiss Go album. Was that on Dynasty, right?
Dynasty.
Yeah.
It's a good record, man.
Yeah.
It's a damn good because if you really listen to it, man, it's pretty rock and roll.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really about the only song on that album. You know, it's got that disco feel, so to speak.
Oh, really?
That-
I just kind of went for that on that, and
Yeah.
sure enough, that was the hit.
Yeah, you know, you got that. I like it.
Yeah, it's one of those.
And it sounds
I need to check out. My last Kiss album I really loved was the Creatures of the Night. Heavy, man. They were heavy on that. You know.
Yeah.
Was that drummer's name? That he's passed since, but
Eric Carr.
oh man, he was the Fox. I mean, his drums are heavy on that album.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to hear it loud. I always loved Gene's voice. God of Thunder, like that's a song where they sound like they look on God of Thunder. You know,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
I thought that they sound the best on that record.
The Creatures.
Yeah.
Heavy.
That they've ever sounded.
I agree. Yeah,
You
it's
know.
heavy. I like that album actually.
I don't know if it's because, you know, you had Vinnie Vincent basically playing the guitars on that record, or, you know, Eric.
Oh, is that what it was? He was.
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
He was the guitarist on that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because Ace was never there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, so
he was Aces in Space around that time. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in space.
Yeah. Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Remember that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, because I bought that on cassette when it first came out. That first one.
Quite the shredder.
Yeah, The Boys Want to Rock.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
song. Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. But yeah, like Kiss, when they took the makeup off, and during that era, it became like,
Animalize is a good record.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. I mean, but when I was running track and stuff, during track meets and stuff, I'd take my boombox, and I had that cassette.
Yeah,
Put it in. We jammed that
yeah.
constantly.
I should maybe give it. Like I said, a lot of that stuff I go back and listen to now, and probably like, this is all right.
Yeah.
This is cool.
But I
But
never-
I was just always completely,
But I never really cared for Lick It Up. They had a couple, songs that really stuck out, but other than that, I just couldn't.
yeah. They took the makeup off, and they just seemed like another one of those hair bands to me, and the glam
It's
band.
Yeah, it's almost like they lost their persona.
Yeah, I thought, I always thought with that band, if they would have MTV came around and they would have just kind of just disappeared. Never took the makeup off. We don't know what they look like. They just disappeared during the 80s. And then when the 90s came along, you had this kind of 70s got retro again.
Oh, yeah.
Dazed and Confused, a lot of the music and all that kind of stuff, It's, they would have came back then with their makeup on, I always thought that would have been pretty cool.
That's a good movie, anyways.
Oh, that's one of my
Dazed and
favorites,
Confused.
Yeah. Definitely, easily one of the best soundtracks ever, huh?
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Right off the Fast Way.
What is it?
Right off the Fast Way.
What's
The
that?
soundtrack. Trick or Treat.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. That one. That's
a
one.
good one, man.
Yeah. Dazed and Confused. What's the Almost Famous? They got a fantastic.
Yep.
Even the original music they made for the little fake band in that, the Stillwater, whatever.
Oh,
you
yeah,
want that.
yeah.
That's the,
Yeah, that was,
Feed the dog. And all that.
That was Nancy Wilson
Nancy
singing
Wilson.
that.
Yes, he wrote the songs for
Said
it.
she wanted to sing like a man on that one. Well, she did.
Yeah, Heart. I love Heart.
Yeah.
Fem Zeppelin. and Wilson's probably my favorite singer. It's
Yeah.
like this restrained version of Robert Plant, and just that. Yeah, their stuff. Those first few albums by them, Dog and Butterfly, fantastic album. I've seen them a couple of times. I saw them open for Rush one time actually.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I
first-
saw them with remember Mr. Mister.
Yeah.
Take These Broken Wings. And they were good though. Yeah, they sound.
Yeah, the first and only time I ever seen him was like the week after the Alice Cooper and Iron Maiden show. We went to Indianapolis to go see.
Nice.
Then, the following week, me and my wife went and seen Heart.
Yeah.
I don't like, this is just me. I know I'm a goofball when it comes to this.
Huh?
When they play Barracuda, she got that phaser on it. I hate that.
Oh yeah, on the.
I hate that.
Yeah. It doesn't. He does. That sounds kind of funny on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, they stole that riff from Zeppelin.
Because, it's like, dun, 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 immigrant song,
Yeah. I was thinking more of Achilles' Last Stand.
Yeah.
It sounds it's almost identical to that.
Yeah.
That's all right. If you're gonna.
But yeah, she's got a set of lungs on her, man.
Oh yeah, I love her voice. Man.
She can really sing.
Yeah. Just killer. That was the song "Mistral Wind." That's so killer.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well-
Some of those very somatic. You
Yeah.
can picture.
Yeah, big fan of them.
Yeah.
I know. I've often thought of this. I would like seeing her and Eric Dickerson do a duet or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well-
Bruce, you mean Bruce?
Yeah, Bruce.
Yeah.
Who did I say, Eric?
Yeah.
Who the hell?
It's his brother. He's a good singer too.
It's like he won the Rams running back. But yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. I like when she sang on the that Alice in Chains "Sap,"
yeah,
the song "Brother," and
Yeah.
it's like, man, that sounds like Ann Wilson. Sure enough, it is Ann Wilson.
it is Ann Wilson.
Yeah, love those albums back in the day. Love the grunge thing that came around. Not big on Nirvana and Pearl Jam, but
Yeah.
Alice in Chains and Soundgarden. I was all about it. Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
yeah.
I
A little more metal edge to them, and
Yeah, I mean everybody had, the Nirvana records and stuff like that.
as
It's like it was okay, It's just I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's over glorified punk rock,
yeah.
but like Green Day.
Yeah, I can't really get into that too much. No, but I'd rather listen, like Melvins. Love the Melvins. A lot of those bands are trying to emulate.
Boy,
them,
his
I think,
his tone was so heavy.
Yeah, but the Buzzo, Great King Buzzo. They're killer. Like, you still see them play like shows, just playing like 100 people and stuff. You
Yeah,
still
they don't
just-
care.
Yeah,
They don't care.
Yeah, just a cult classic. But they've always sounded good. But the band, I hate to say it, I've seen them twice, and both times they didn't sound too good. Soundgarden.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of those bands I think of shows where I'd go to see the main band, and the opening bands I knew nothing about kind of blew them off the stage. And two of those examples are Soundgarden. I hate to say it, because love Cornell, his voice, but first time I saw him was Louder Than Love, and they're opening for Voivod. I remember them. I love Voivod.
Out of all bands to open up for.
Yeah, strange kind of psychedelic prog space rock from Canada. They just did a remake of Astronomy the Mean by Pink Floyd, which is pretty cool. But Soundgarden had a band opening for them called Faith No More. Yeah. And I, just had never really even heard of them or nothing. The only thing I'd heard of them was seen Hetfield wearing a Faith No More shirt. Yeah. So it must be kind of cool, kind of heavy. I knew nothing about them. This is right before Epic and all that came out. Yeah. They blew both bands off the stage, man. I was blown away by them. Yeah. Mike Patton doing backflips into the audience and stuff, and just the sound. And Soundgarden came out after them, and Cornell was on something. And just had this goofy face, and he sounded funny, and it was muddy. And I saw him again. I think it was Hair Arena, and they sounded muddy then. And once again, it was the opening band. Just didn't know anything about them. A band called 11.
Never heard of them.
Oh, fantastic! They
blew them out.
They killed it. They would actually go on to back up Cornell on his solo stuff.
Oh, really?
This is, I can't remember the guitar player's name. Bald guy, skinhead looking dude. Killer guitar player, singer. What is his name? He's since played with like Danzig and Prong, and a few different bands. But it was just him on guitar and singing, and it was the Red Hot Chili Peppers original drummer Jack Irons on drums, and this chick playing the keyboards, playing like the bass, and like playing this keyboard part. And killer! I highly recommend you checking them out. Great stuff, man. They were fantastic live. Yeah, really good band. 11. Yeah. Goes to 11.
11.
Yeah.
Why not make 10 louder?
Yeah.
They go to 11.
That's one louder, isn't it? Confused. You see where they get the new movie coming out, the Spinal Tap?
Really?
Yeah, it's like in October or something.
Oh, can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
I hope it's good. I don't know. It's kind of funny. It's the old premise is the comedian actually played their manager.
Okay.
What is his name in the show? But Ian Faith. But he passes away, and he actually did pass away. And the whole premise is, and his will is like the only thing I want is for the boys in the tap to do one last show. So that's the whole premise of the movie. And they're all like old as hell now, naturally, So it should be good. That's one of those movies. Which is another thing. If we talked movies, I could be here all day. But this is Spinal Tap. Yeah. That's one of those I can say. People say,
That's one of the old time cult movies that's actually true.
Yeah, yeah. And classic, so quotable, and one I can honestly say. So many people like, I've seen that movie 100 times. Yeah, you maybe seen it 30 times, maybe. You know what I'm saying? 100. It's kind of. Yep. I've probably seen that movie 100 times. Love it. Yeah, such a classic.
I always thought the funniest line in that movie. The Dwarfs, trampled Stonehenge.
The Dwarfs. I think the problem wasn't the band was down. I think there was a Stonehenge. It was trouble of being trampled on by a dwarf.
But be honest with you, I think they got that from Black Sabbath, the Born Again, because
they couldn't put
they made it so big.
It was too big for that. Couldn't get into the show.
Yeah, they said it was almost about the same size as Stonehenge.
Yeah. I think I was on the Born Again tour, too, wasn't it? That Ill-Fated with Ian Gillan on the vocals.
Oh, I love that.
I kind of like that album. Yeah, I like it, Born Again.
I'm a big fan of that record.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's Ian Gillan with Sabbath. Why not? It's like two of my favorite bands ever. The Mark II, Purple, and Sabbath, So why not put them together,
I mean, it's fun because when I bought it on cassette, back when it came out and stuff, it's like, man, it sounds muddy as hell.
Yeah, it had the mix to it. Was
Now about the reissue of it,
remastered
on CD, still sounds muddy.
Yeah.
You put the record on, it's crystal clear. It's like,
interesting.
What am I missing here?
Yeah.
Well, what's going on? Maybe I don't know if it's because it's the vinyl itself. It clears up that muddiness. I don't know.
Would it help if they recorded it in Dublin? She means Dolby. Sorry, Spinal Tap again.
Double D.
Yeah, I always liked that one. I thought it was a decent album.
That's funny. My little granddaughter, we had a CD player in her bedroom and stuff here. She goes, "Papa, you got a CD?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got a CD." This after I bought the reissue of that record. I said, "Here, you can have this one." She goes, "What's that, Papa?" That's Black Sabbath Born Again. She put it on, trashed right out of the gate.
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, I like this, Papa." I
Nice.
said, "Dig in, dig in."
Yeah. Go down that rabbit hole.
It's a big rabbit hole.
Black Sabbath. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just I mean, all those British bands. I mean, it's insane. I don't know what was in the water around that time, but I mean, it's
War torn.
Yeah, yeah. And so they took on the American blues, right? They
Yep.
they saw something with it, and they had their English sensibilities, and when you had these guys, these coming from like these classical conservatories,
Yep.
like the Rick Wakemans and
Yeah.
Keith Emersons, and doing the prog rock stuff. It's otherworldly, man.
Yeah.
I listen to that stuff today. I'm like, there's just nothing like that today.
Yeah.
It's just
You listen to it, you can actually get into it. As in, you sit there and you listen to it, you start bobbing your head, you're like, and it's smooth. It's a smooth way to go.
a lot for me. I think it's my ADD. It's just it's ever changing. There's all these different changes and dynamics, so they'll bring it down. It's like there's like a lot of people consider like Tool kind of progressive, but
I've seen
some,
them.
yeah, I've seen them a few times. They are awesome live. I love Carrie on them drums, man. But a lot of their stuff kind of meanders a little bit, and it doesn't have the dynamics. They don't bring it like way. Well, they do sometimes, I guess, bring it.
Yeah.
But not like and the instrumentation too. You just you get the weirdest stuff with those early prog bands. They can be like this flute and this classical guitar going on, and they go this like heavy keyboard drum.
Yeah.
You just never know what it's going to do, and that always kind of those bands always fascinated me for sure.
Toll was a good one.
Oh, Jethro Tull, yeah, excellent. Man. Got to see them at Blossom Music Center with Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Oh, God.
That was nice
That
back
was
in the '90s. Yeah, and they both sounded wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes it
Yeah.
nice when you have bands like that really put their music into a live setting, and it sounds refreshing. Very refreshing.
Yeah, you could definitely tell they're professionals. It sounds so good, on top of their game,
Yeah.
Very, ooh, those,
It was a hot rod.
yeah, it was.
That was a Hawley.
Those guys I love that when they all those English bands, though, it's crazy. You think, it starts with that whole second British invasion, Beatles, Stones, Kinks, Who,
Yeah.
and just a watershed, man.
It seems like every 10 years, man, something cracked.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you had the Beatles, they put that melody, they put everything into it, Then you had the Stones that put that little bit of grit of American blues into it,
Yeah,
and they just ran with it.
the Who just kept on turning it up more and more.
Yeah.
Kind of like your purveyors of
They're,
punk.
they're
and-
good live, too.
It's what they're walking, and you can see where they're almost kind of like the big bang of like the punk rock stuff, but also the progressive too, with like the rock operas of Tommy
Yes.
and Quadrophenia and all that. Highly influential on those
Yep.
those progressive rock bands for
Yes.
sure, and like Pink Floyd, like Roger Waters is a huge Townsend fan. Definitely, you could see like something like The Wall is very much reminds me of Tommy in some ways thematically a little bit. Some of the things in it. And that was another early one. My brother had that on vinyl, The Wall.
Yeah.
I was about 8 years old. I was down in the basement, the lights off, listening to that. I was like, what is this, man? But
My mom
the
actually.
helicopter sound and all the sound effects and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom actually bought me that album in 1980.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 12 years old, listening to that. It's like,
What is this?
of course, it was, another brick in the wall was being played relentless.
Yeah, that's
On
one I never need to hear again, but Disco Pink Floyd. But except for that, I listened to the whole thing just to hear Gilmore at the end. His guitar tone on that is sick, as usual.
Yeah. I still think one of his greatest guitar solos is in Time. That song, Time.
Oh, yeah.
Still one, to me, it just sounds so good.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about it. Of course, you have to comfortably numb,
Those
guitar
are
so.
fantastic,
But that one in Time, I don't know. It's that whole build up
yeah.
to that guitar solo. Then when he hits that, just rings.
Yeah. He's just got that. He's one of those. He hits one note, and you know who it is, kind of player for sure.
Yeah, you know
that,
who it is.
That certain bend, like when he hits that note on "Shine on You Crazy Diamond," and he finally comes in with that long keyboard intro, and he hits that note and just gives you chills, man. But yeah, Dark Side of the Moon. That's for me. That's kind of their peak.
Their Black
and
Album.
I look at the music between. It came out almost exactly 10 years after the Beatles' Please Please Me, and you look at like from the Beatles' Please Please Me in like March of '63 to like The Dark Side of the Moon 10 years later.
It's a hell of a
And all the
progression.
music in between it's staggering. It's just insanity. And it's just everybody went out and made it after seeing them on Ed Sullivan or whatever. They all had to make a band. And some are a little better than others, obviously, but just the explosion of creativity and so much of it from.
It's like it's night and day.
Yeah.
I mean, they were doing that stuff even with they had Sid Barrett, in their first couple records and stuff like that. I mean, it's good stuff, but it was real spacey type.
Yeah, I love
psychedelia
Piper's The Gates of Dawn. Yeah, he's very, very psychedelic and very whimsical. Very, very English sensibilities in there for sure. And he ate a little too much acid, and that gave him a concept from there on out. The whole "Wish You Were Here" is basically about him.
Yeah.
And of course, he showed up at the session. It's such a weird story. Yeah.
And same way
They didn't know it was him. Bizarre.
This bald-headed guy.
Yeah, who is this guy? That's Sid. Oh,
Oh boy.
you like this song we wrote about you?
Well, what was that? The record before that, Metal.
Oh, I love it.
That's a phenomenal record.
Oh man, it's got my favorite Pink Floyd tune, "Echoes."
So was that like 23 minutes?
Yeah, oh my God.
It's got
I
every,
remember hearing that like late night on QFM when I was a little kid, and it scared me. When it goes the whole thing, that noise, all the noises and stuff, it goes that whole bridge. It's like, and it comes in with that guitar and just builds until it finally peaks with that. Oh man, it's so. You've seen there's a excellent version of it on David Gilmour's "Remember the Night." I think it's called a live version. It's fantastic of that.
Really?
And lasers pop on the big, love that. That's probably my favorite song by him, definitely. Once again, it's that big, long cinematic thing. You get lost in.
Yeah. I mean, you could, like, say you put headphones on, you just listen to it.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you go, oh boy.
Yeah, they're definitely one of those bands you don't just like, I'm just out for a nice summer drive, I'm going to put Pink Floyd on. Now, there's ones, serious shit, late at night, eyes closed, it's like, listen to this.
And you're looking around like,
You can't, you could just listen to Money, but you can listen like the whole album, you know what I'm saying? The whole Dark Side of the Moon, So, it's so fantastic, the flow of that. And the things that they were doing, it's just a little tape loop he made with the cash register and all that.
Yeah.
So creative, man. Just, how do you
That
think of that? And that weird, that 5/4 bass line he goes into, whatever, just,
that bass riff right there is just like,
sick. And it's just it's really kind of a basic blues lick, really, but it's got this little hook in it, where it's in this weird time signature.
it's where it goes, do-doom, do-do-do-do-do,
And it comes in all weird.
And,
He's I put him, the word genius gets thrown around a lot in music and rock and roll. I mean, rock and roll's supposed to be dumb, first of all, The best rock and roll, just like the real simple, just kind of dumb stuff, But I love the thinking man's rock and metal, but there's certain ones, that I think you can label genius. And I think Waters he's a pretty smart chap. The stuff he came up with is such bold, big ideas in such a simple way he does it. They're not super like progressive with the changes and all that. They're kind of slower in these minor chords and everything, but just the lyrics he's able to convey and everything. I see him as pretty genius. Zappa, he'd be genius. David Byrne's one comes to mind. I always thought he had
Talking Heads were just like,
oh man, he's obviously, when you see him in interviews, he's got a touch of the tiz. He's obviously. And that's what makes him unique, though. He's just got this unique brain, like a beefheart, Don Van Lier. It's got this weird way of looking at things. It just makes this unique music.
almost reminds me of Devin Townsend.
Yeah, there's another one.
Right there's to me, as of right now, he's probably one of the best
Yeah.
songwriters.
Guitar shredder.
Whatever he does, he's the best at it.
Yeah.
I think. Because you listen to his stuff, man, it's like listening to Floyd, to me.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you listen to it, you can see stuff.
Yeah, him, Steve Wilson's another, Porcupine Tree. And I'm all about his remixes he's been doing, man.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I got some King Crimson.
Oh, dude.
And Jethro Tull.
Yeah, I've got a few remixes he's done of Tull, and I think it was
He did Aqua Lung. that was the one I had to get.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it is.
I don't think I got that one.
It's crystal, man.
Yeah, I'll have to have that.
Yeah, it's and the ones he did with King Crimson, he did Red. Well, I think he's done a whole catalog of them. But I think I got Red, and I got Tongues.
No, there's the two right there.
Yeah.
Lark's Tongues is just that. I heard that when got that on vinyl. I was pretty young. I was like, what is this? Man?
Yeah, that's another band that never gets mentioned for anything.
Yeah,
King Crimson.
They're different. They're very different. You know.
Yeah, I mean, they'd been around forever. Even back in the '70s, it seemed like they'd been around forever.
Yeah,
because
people consider them the first prog rock band. You know, with the '69s and the Court of the Crimson King.
Yeah,
and of course, a lot of people know 21st Century Schizoid Man.
Yeah.
But no, you name the two, Lark's Tongues and Aspic.
That's another one that Steve Wilson did. Was that one?
Okay, the debut.
Yeah, their debut.
Nice.
Yeah, I got that one too.
Nice. Yeah. Where does he find the time to do all this stuff? Is what I want. This Steve Wilson cat. So let's do his band and this sort of thing. He's pretty prolific for sure.
Dude, he's done a lot of prog
so I've
bands.
got some Gentle Giant. There's another one. I love Gentle Giant. He's done a lot of their stuff.
Yes.
Oh, they probably as the years go by with the prog stuff, they're the one band that really impresses me more and more.
Yeah.
Because they were able to do so much in a shorter format. They didn't do the big long, like Close to the Edge and Tales of Topographic Oceans, whole side long epics.
Yeah.
They're able to say so much in just 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, they put you right there, right then, boom. They didn't elongate it because they want the meat and potatoes right from the get-go.
Yeah, yeah. They're trying to create like a very intricate song, you know, doesn't lose your attention, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
They fascinate me. I love that band. That's one of my favorites.
Who's that?
Gentle Giant.
Yes.
The Shulman Brothers.
I think I only have one record. I think it's Pieces.
Okay.
A piece or something like that.
Yeah,
like it's got the elf on the front.
Missing
there.
Piece.
Yeah. I think that's the name of it.
Missing Piece. I would highly recommend like Octopus.
Yeah.
Unbelievable album. If you like, especially if you like King Crimson and Yes and all that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. They've got a few that are really, Three Friends is great. Very intricate playing. Some of it's very Zappa-esque.
Yeah.
All the members in that band were multi-instrumentalists, and it wouldn't be uncommon for them live just to switch instruments just in one song, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just really crazy stuff with very polyphonic and lots of, it's worth checking out for sure if you like the prog rock stuff.
Yeah. There's one record I would like to see Stephen Wilson get his fingers wet in. It'd be Jefferson Airplane's Octopus.
Oh, the other Octopus album, Jefferson Airplane, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see him mess with that one.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I like it. That Spitfire.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Or Freedom at Point Zero. First, that's funny because
that's when they were Jefferson Starship on that one.
Yeah.
The guitar solo on Jane, I always loved that.
It's a heavy song.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's what the Cat Mickey, the guy, when he started singing for him. What is his name?
Jesus,
Mickey.
Got a brain fart.
Yeah. Great voice.
Mickey Thompson.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
He was with Elvin
Bailey.
Elvin Bishop.
Yeah, Elvin Bishop.
Did I fooled around and found.
Yeah, he's the one who sings that.
Yeah, he sings that one. That's such a great song. But then he went on to do We Built This City on Rock and Roll. Might be my most hated song of all time.
But when you listen to it, you can almost appreciate the vocal. Or maybe not.
I couldn't get into it. Just the whole premise of it and just the...
I always liked their stuff like From Strangers, I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Freedom at Point Zero, first time I heard that was on 8-track.
Yeah.
My sister bought it on 8-track, and I listened to it. I went, oh my God.
I've got my brother's vinyl copy of that one, actually.
It's really good, man.
Yeah,
it's a
I like it. So much of that stuff from that kind of era, late 70s, very nostalgia driven for me. I hear it and it just brings back lots of memories, of course. Yeah. That would be one of them.
Yeah.
But of course, went back and discovered, the airplane days, the surrealistic pillow and all that. And that stuff's a trip, man. What is the rabbit song? The White Rabbit.
Yeah.
That sounds trippy, man.
You ever heard Sanctuary's version of that?
No. Nice.
Warrell Dane, the lead singer for Sanctuary at that time, he did that song. They did that song.
Okay.
Dude, it is phenomenal.
Yeah. That's definitely one you could do something, you could make it heavy for sure.
It is phenomenal.
Cool.
You're familiar with Sanctuary?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. It's that album there, Refuge Denied, is probably one of the peak albums of like the 80s hard rock heavy metal.
Yeah,
type.
I know the one you're talking about. It seems like I'd had to have heard that.
Yeah.
Kind of getting them mixed up a little bit with Sabotage. I've seen them live. They were pretty cool. Yeah.
God, you're making me sick already from all the band.
Yeah. They were great. I remember
Speaking of that.
up front, and the singer had his foot up on the monitor, and I grabbed his shoelace and untied his shoe, and he like pointed at me like, "You idiot." I was probably like 15.
That
They
one?
had trouble opening. That's the one, yeah. Hall of the Mountain King.
Yes.
They had the band I loved at the time. It opened for them, was Trouble, though. Great doom metal, but yeah. Love
That's
Trouble.
a good band.
Yeah. We're kind of jumping from band to band here. I figured it kind of you're all over the place with your collection here. I love it.
Well, that's the whole point. We can jump from one genre to the next.
Like I said, I probably, kind of hard to keep me on point here. I'll get to talk about something, and I'll go, they remind me of this, and I'll be on that, So.
Well, that's funny
But
because
Trouble, oh yeah, that the one on that when they went to the Rick Rubin's Def Jam label.
Well, yeah, that's their self-titled record. And that Psychotic
kicks.
Reaction.
That is so
and,
good.
Yeah.
Every song's just a banger on that.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. And they're one of those, when you see them live, they sound like the album. They sound tight.
I actually have, the first pressing on CD, but I have the reissue on vinyl.
Nice.
I had to get it.
Yeah. Our buddy of mine, we used to just go up, just young kids drive up to Columbus to Magnolia Thunderpuss and we'd buy, CDs or records just for the covers. Yeah. And that was the ones like, these guys, man, they look like something from 73 or something, you know what I'm saying? That picture of them all kind of standing there looking
all hard.
Yeah. And put it on and immediately like, this is just
Dun,
this.
dun, 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 dun.
Was it Days, End of My Days?
Yeah.
I think there's a song called The Wolf.
Yeah.
We used to cover quite a bit. I was in a band called Punishment. We covered a lot of that stuff from that album, actually. We did The Wolf and
But how many
Psychotic Reaction.
Yeah. But how many bands you been in?
Whew. That's a few.
Yeah.
Probably around this point, like 30 to 40 bands throughout the years.
Okay.
Yeah. So it started I've been playing out live damn near 4 decades now. So, but some of the more main ones I was with for a long time, there was Punishment. In the early 90s, and we played our claim to fame. We could play the Master of Puppets album from front to back. Played all the Metallica and all that. We were one of the first bands around this area playing a lot of the thrash stuff. Some bands were still playing hair band stuff, So that was cool.
That's a tough record to play through, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It works on the forearms a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
The old wrist.
We played some trouble with that band, and after that I had a kind of in the mid 90s, kind of I guess what's stoner doom, grungy kind of thing called Pothole, and that kind of sounded a lot like maybe like Machias, Sleep, that kind of thing, kind of And by the end of the 90s, I had like a jam band called Dr. Cook's Garden, and that was more. At that time I was really into Fish and Widespread Panic and stuff like that, and and that's still probably my favorite thing to play live is jammy stuff.
Yeah.
And I like to do it, especially if you can add like the heavy elements of this stuff we are talking about before, but still stuff that jams. You don't know where it's going to go. You know, it's like playing a song is like reading a script, reading a speech. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like when you're jamming, it's like what we're doing now. It's like a conversation when you're listening to each other. You don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And that's way more interesting to do musically. It doesn't always work.
Yeah.
But
now, what was that band you were in at? Was it the Street Howlers or
Temple Street Howlers? Yeah.
Okay.
There's a guy who'd be good for you to talk to, is the bass player from that band, Derek Beekman. Would be good for you to have, and he's got some crazy music knowledge.
I bet.
Lots of stories. Played with all kinds of bands.
Yeah.
He played CBGBs in one of the bands he was in, which is pretty crazy. Yeah.
Dude, that's nuts.
Yeah, I always thought he told me that. I was like, what? I mean, he's like met Henry Rollins and a bunch of people. And, and when it comes to heavier music too, like newer music, he's got a wealth of knowledge on that stuff.
This singer that was in that band, Wes.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Oh, I love Wes Morgan, the Ronnie Crud.
Yeah, the old crudster.
Yeah, he was something else.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
about Wes, I don't believe it.
Yeah, I know, right? It was me, Chris Warsbaugh.
Yeah.
Me, Chris, and old Cruddy went to a Clutch show.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. This is up in Columbus.
Newport? Or?
No, it was over where the baseball team plays.
The Cooper Stadium?
No.
Oh, no, they at the, Huntington Field now.
They changed the name of that venue to, Lifestyles one time.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That place, yeah.
Yeah, they changed
LC Pavilion.
Yeah.
Inside, outside?
Oh, this is inside. It was a little cool outside. We were out there. Wes just was laughing. me and Wars walk out there. So, what's up, Ward? What's up, Morg? What are you doing? He goes, man, I seen my buddy over. I went over and smacked the shit out of him. I go, well, what'd you smack him for? He goes, I don't know. You know how he was, you know. So he walked over, just
He's
whacked
probably
him.
a few natties deep at the time, I'm sure.
Oh, he was. He was.
He's a hoot. I had a lot of fun with him. He was fun. Like we were talking earlier, doing the whole jamming thing.
Yeah.
Used to jam at my buddy's hill, not too far from here, Humboldt Hills there, and Wes just jump up and just start the stuff that come off the top of his head, just crack you
Nobody
up.
knew what the hell it was.
Yeah, he's something. But he had a
Yeah.
few cool bands with Fayette Nom back in the
Yeah,
day.
I actually have that CD.
Yeah, it's
You
good.
wa-
Dropping bombs, yeah.
Yeah, you know Jalissa.
I don't know her well, but I know, the drummer.
No, she was the bass player.
Okay,
yeah. I know her pretty well.
Yeah. I don't. What's the Gatton, the guitar player? Adam Gatton, I think.
Yeah, I have no idea, man.
Yeah, he had that, and he had a band called Goat Mode. It was pretty killer. I sat in with them one time, drums at the Puke Hole. But no, we had a cool thing with the Temple Street Howlers. It was pretty sweet. That was a little different. It was acoustic. Mm-hmm. I was playing mainly mandolin with them, and Christy on guitar. Great vocalist, Christy Haddon.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had a guy on the cajon, Corey Gam, and Wes singing, and Derek Bateman playing the stand-up bass, and we we're doing like kind of bluegrass versions of classic '70s songs stuff. We did like The Chain, and and had a cool 4-part harmony, and it was a cool thing, a nice little following, man. It was fun.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And he was fun. He get this when you get into it, get a few beers, and he start dancing around, strutting around.
Yeah.
He was fun to watch.
It's fun because on our way home, I think we stopped off at like Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Something like that. And there was he goes, man, stop up here, man. They got karaoke. I went, dude, they're probably not even open. No, we pulled in there. They were open.
Ah.
Dude goes, hey, throw this on, you know. I think it was AC/DC. And there he is. West. You know, he goes, throw AC/DC on there. He is up there trying to sing like Brian Johnson. You know, in Wes's style.
Yeah, the crud style.
Yeah, but he was a cool dude, man.
Oh, he was great.
He was
great. A lot of fun memories with him for sure, and just jam sessions and laughs, and good dude. Yeah. He's missed for sure.
Yeah, I hated to hear that. You know,
that was a shocker.
I mean, if people didn't know him, you know, you would never know him.
That was a shocker. Wake up to that and like, oh, yeah. That was a fun band to play in. The last band I was in was a band called the Thick Boys out of Chillicothe, and it was kind of like progressive punk, I guess. I mean, it's kind of a
y'all thick,
kind of a oxymoron, progressive punk, but it was kind of a punk aesthetic, but with like kind of long, lots of changes in the songs and stuff. And that's probably did my last gig with them, New Year's actually, and haven't been playing outside. This is the longest break I've had from playing out for years actually. Just physically, mentally need a little break, you know.
that sometimes you need that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think about music all the time. I think about music more than I listen to it, which might sound weird to some people, but I just kind of just thinking of ideas and stuff, you know.
Maybe that's your fix for right now.
Yeah, I've always been like that, kind of neurotic, where I'm thinking, have beats and rhythms going through my head and stuff, constantly kind of thinking about it.
Oh, I do too, but I don't know how to put it down.
Yeah. That's cool to have that outlet just to be able to think about it, you know, because so many ideas I love to be able to share and people to hear, but it's like it's a lot easier just thinking of the ideas than actually getting down doing it, you know. That takes a lot of work, you know. I've kind of got the skills and all the stuff to do it, but it's a lot of work, you know. So. Yeah. But yeah, I love just thinking about it, just kind of different ideas going through my head, kind of whittle them and polish them, and just constantly, you know.
Yeah, I have all kinds of stuff in my head.
Yeah.
You know, as like, man, that would sound good. It's like, man, I really don't know how to play drums. You know, I really don't know how to play a bass, but I could pluck it. You know,
or show somebody the idea, you know. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's weird, like on drums and stuff. I can't get that mid beat with the bass. Yeah, it's like I got to constantly.
Gotta keep the kick going.
Yeah, like it keeps me in time. I can go to that. You know, it's almost about like having a click track for me.
Yeah.
I can't put that. You know, you know how you're supposed to. Yeah. I'm just not coordinating, I guess. I mean, it takes coordination to play drums.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. So, some of the things kind of came. The drums kind of came easy to me, like just doing the straightforward type stuff and everything. But I don't know.
I don't know. There's sometimes I go boom, pow, boom, boom, pow. Boom.
Yeah. Just play along with that AC/DC stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Put that crash in there every once in a while.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, that's a great outlet. I need to set a drum kit back up. I haven't played for so long, actually.
Yeah.
But I love it. You get a kind of a physical release as well when you're playing the drums, which is nice, you know.
Maybe that's what I need to do. Just start coming out here just beating on them. Yeah, I mean, eventually.
Just playing along with stuff, you know. So you mostly play just guitar then, it's kind of.
Yeah. I try to.
Yeah.
You know,
That's all good. It's good to get the passion, just kind of pick around with it, you know.
and that's how a lot of times you can learn. You know, some of the best guitarists never had one lesson.
Nah.
You know, they just figured it out for themselves.
Yeah.
But
now it's insane. They got the YouTube at the kids' disposal now.
See, that's what
and they just break it all right down there.
See, that's what makes me sick. You got these old 5-year-old kids.
Oh, those little Asian kids shredding it, man. Why are they doing that?
And there I am sitting there like, what's an F chord? You know?
Yeah. It's like this 6-year-old little Asian girl just ripping up good times, bad times. And have the kick pedal part, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just killing it, man. It's like, God, look at her go. And playing like the violins and all that.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, they have nothing else better to do except learn and play guitar.
I think Asians, there's a discipline thing there for sure. A lot of discipline. And Western culture didn't quite easily distracted, I think.
A little bit. Well, and it didn't.
For sure.
You know, it didn't help with the phones.
But yeah, like I said, but the YouTube thing, like a lot of us, had to learn by ear. I just played, I learned by playing along with stuff. I had, and I tried doing the tab. I was lucky. This stuff came fairly easy to me, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just my family, just all musical.
Yeah.
And I had it around me, the older siblings, and like my mom was in the Sweet Adelines, so she's always singing harmony with stuff. So harmony is easy for me to do. Just always, there's a lot of things I have a lot of troubles with, but music was always something that just came easy for me.
Yeah, well, that's good. What kind of gear do you play with?
Just mainly at home I just kind of strum around on this Martin player I got and strum on it a lot. And I got a couple basses. I got this fretless bass I like to whip out every now and then. I got a Slingerland drum kit. I've got a nice Roland electric kit I like to record with. Yeah. But I haven't been playing drums too much. Much of nothing here lately. But usually I'm just kind of I write stuff, come up with stuff. It's mainly thinking about it, or just pricking around with an acoustic. Yeah. So you can come up and heavy riffs on an acoustic, and detune it down to a drop D and different tunings. Had fun doing that, figuring out some of the Jimmy Page and Joni Mitchell detunings, some of the stuff they did. Has been fun. I like that because when you get burned out on the instrument, you feel like you're going so far. It's like, what can I do? You just put it in a different tuning. Yeah. And then if you go to do like a C or a G chord in that tuning, you get this thing called a cluster chord, where it's like you don't get the chord you think you're going to get when you strum, but you might get this whole other thing. It's like I might send you in this whole. Well, that's different. That's interesting. I think I'll do something with that.
And the ingenuity to come up with that, different tunings and to play like the normal chords, but it gives it a different feel.
Yeah, well, you get it. It's obviously a whole different chord. It's like, what was that? But it's the same mechanic, but it's in a different tuning, and it can lead you down this whole other path. Because Jimmy got a lot of that open tuning stuff idea from Joni Mitchell. Yeah, and she did it because I guess when she was a little girl, she had like cerebral palsy or something, messed up her hands. Oh, really? So she had to figure out how to do just stuff like just with one finger. And that's how she started doing those open tunings, No, they're talking about geniuses is another. Yeah. I think she's unbelievable. A lot of her stuff, her lyrics and arrangements and musical ideas. Yeah.
I never really listened to a lot of Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
I got the album Blue.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But
Clouds has got some interesting stuff on it.
I'm not going to lie, I've never listened to it.
Yeah.
It.
She would surprise you. She went on to play like some of these, like Jaco Pastorius on the bass, and cats from Weather Report and stuff playing with it.
Now that's a band. Era. That's a band right there.
Oh my God, the jazz fusion bands.
Jaco's one of the premier bass players.
That's kind of like they consider him like Hendrix of bass, basically. Yes. Big bass of doom. And, he was a monster for sure. And
Well,
I love that. What the weather report, the Return to Forever, but the big one for me is
Thank you.
my Visional Orchestra.
Thank
dude.
you for saying that.
And what's that?
Return Forever.
Oh yeah, excellent stuff. Yeah, they all came from that Miles Davis school, and he went
Yes.
electric. You know.
Yeah.
It's like, well, let's do our own thing. You know.
Well, of course, you know Dave Shoemaker.
Yeah.
Well, I think I was on the first podcast. I whipped that a record out from him. He goes, I ain't never heard of him.
Return to Forever.
Yeah.
Chick Corea and
Yep.
excellent stuff. Yeah, I love that jazz fusion, all that prog.
Yep.
But for me, yeah, it was the one when I was a pretty young lad. My sister came back, or she'd taken a couple cassettes from an ex-boyfriend or something. One was Jean-Luc Ponty's Cosmic Messenger.
Yes.
And that one really spoke to me at the time. I really liked that.
That's to do with the
violin.
Yeah.
The French violinist, unbelievable. Played Zappa. And
Yeah, because I actually have one of his records
yeah.
somewhere.
Oh, he's fantastic. Yeah. I love his stuff. Played with Zappa a lot. But the other cassette was John McLaughlin's My Vision Orchestra, The Intermounting Flame. And that went over my head at the time, and I was that young.
Yeah.
But as the years went by and I played it more, I just became like, God, listen to these guys. Billy Cobham on the drums is just fire. And the speed and and such an interesting
And you
band.
mentioned another guy, Billy Cobham. I got his
He's
record.
my favorite drummer. Spectrum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got
Red
sit-
Baron and all.
Got us sitting right over here, brother.
Fantastic album.
Yes.
It's got Mark Bullen, I think he's played some guitar on that one, I think.
Yep.
And
Well, it's like Zeffler. You ever heard of Zeffler?
I've heard of them. I don't think I've heard them. I've heard of them.
I think that was Mark Bolan's first band.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. All right. Yeah. He was gone too soon. But, about Billy Cobham, amazing.
Yeah.
That and the Birds of Fire. But I love the My Vision, how it was McLaughlin. It was 5 guys from 5 different countries.
Yeah.
All like outstanding on their instruments.
Slap them together
And
and see
just
what
threw them in
happens.
the studio, showed them a basic outline, go. You know, and I like those songs listening that are like second, third takes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or they just
That's how good they were.
and
That's how good they
it's
were.
insane. It's
Yeah.
just the playing on that Jan Hammer on the keyboards and sick. It's,
No.
yeah, I love that. I got to see McLaughlin. I got to see him. He did his final American tour there about 4 or 5 years ago. It was in Butler, Indiana.
Said, I got to go. Well, that's a small town, isn't it?
Yeah, he played it was a college there. He played like a little college amphitheater. He had Jimmy Herring, who I love, guitar player, open for him.
Yep.
And his band called the Invisible Whip. And it was kind of like his jazz fusion thing.
Yeah.
And McLaughlin came out and he had his little jazz fusion band called The Fourth Dimension. Then they combined both bands and did classic Mario Vishnu songs. It was hot. He had that double neck and just, oh man, the playing just unbelievable. Love that. Was definitely a bucket list one to see.
This is crazy because not a lot of people has heard of what you've talked about, and the crazy thing is, I have heard it.
No, that's great. I love it. You've got definitely a broad musical knowledge for sure. I can tell. I mean,
Well, I try. I've forgotten.
I
more.
just look at your across here, and it's like, he knows a thing or two. That's quite the collection of vinyl you got kicking.
Well,
in
each
there.
record I could pull it out and I could tell you what the smasher is on it.
Yeah, that's
Every record in here.
that's something. That's crazy. Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, I've heard the Joni Mitchell Blue, but I've never listened to it on vinyl here.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But there's a lot of stuff to mull over in here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let's see, Ramon. I got Dee Dee Ramon looking at me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's funny. Well, this is
Love the Ramones, man. I love them.
this here's possibly one of the rarest records, if I can find it.
Yeah, Ramones.
Yeah, right.
They crack me up. They're like a cartoon or something. Just the look at them just cracks me up.
Okay, as you can see, that's a Ramones.
You got the pick. Look at here.
That's a guitar pick
Ah, nice.
from the main dude.
Is Johnny?
Yep, that's his guitar pick. Now flip it over.
It's a lie. Oh, looky here. Signed and very nice. Is all 4 of them?
Yep, all before they all died.
Yeah, they're all going, aren't they?
Yep,
Good stuff.
yep.
Nice. Yeah,
That's
a good one there.
That's and I went multiple different sites on the internet just to match these up. They're on point.
Yeah,
They're
that's
all on
the
point.
real deal.
And-
Where'd you get this at?
A buddy of mine, he said, Dave, I got this record, this Ramones record. I want you to come take a look at it, see if you'd be interested in buying it. I looked at it. I went, yeah, I'll take it.
Hell yes.
And I like I say, all the signatures are on.
Nice.
So-
That's a sweet one there.
And
Yeah,
from my
that's great.
understanding, the dude had to follow these guys around trying to get their autographs on this record.
Huh.
So he ended up getting them all. So
Yeah, it kind of they're a weird lot for sure. I know. I guess Johnny was a bit of a prick, and Pete Petey's probably a hard one to find. You know,
yeah,
passed out in some gutter somewhere. Yeah, there's something else, man.
Yeah.
What a band! I guess of the punk stuff. I don't know.
And
That was one of my favorites of that.
you know, and Tommy, you know, he seemed like he was just laid back.
Yeah.
But you know, but yeah, that's probably.
He was in the band before that. Was the band Dust? You ever listen to them?
Oh, that was the other.
There's the other guy after. There's the other drummer.
Yeah, I got that record over here too.
Marky or
Yeah, Marky.
yeah. That's good. Dust. That's a good.
That's a good record.
Yeah.
You know,
I love finding that early '70s.
Yes.
Stuff like finding bands like that.
I think that's a Frank Frazetta cover.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Love his stuff.
But yeah, that's probably the holy grail in this
That's
whole shooting shebang.
Yeah, that's a keeper there for sure, bro. This is live. Just
Hey, unless you want to give me
That's double.
unless you want to give me $150 for it.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
joking.
that's
I'm joking.
Yeah, I think it's more than that probably. Yeah, live two albums. About 100 songs on that with the Ramones. They're 2-minute long songs.
Yeah, because each song's like 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's definitely been stripped it back to the basics. You know, on a mission to kill all those prog rock bands I love. You know.
And they did.
Yeah.
You know,
they sure as hell did, didn't they? Yeah. They sure as hell did. I like a lot of the punk stuff.
Well, just like they say, you know, grunge killed the
the
hair.
hair band.
Yeah. Which,
That I liked. The punk killing the prog stuff. I didn't like it so. I love that prog stuff, but I mean,
you know
I wasn't getting carried away with.
yeah.
You know.
But I think, you know, that so-called hair metal, it killed itself.
Yeah.
You know, it was just getting too cheesy, you know, and
She's my cherry pie. Hell, that's not like
That's
that's not like Stairway to Heaven today compared to the music today though. You know, so hell, I like the Cherry Pie song. You know, I like Warrant. I do. It's funny. A lot of that's just nostalgia now. I go back and listen to that. You
Yeah.
know, stuff I kind of like. At the time, I was a music snob back in high school
Yeah.
days. You know, I was kind of.
the best song on that was probably, of course, Uncle Tom's Cabin, but they had the Ode to Tipper Gore.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, she was part of the
PMRC.
Yeah. Well, they put an ode to her, you know, nothing but F bombs. Boom, boom, boom.
I got you.
Yeah.
Good.
They said, well, there you
I
go.
like that. I can respect that. That was so fun. They went to that hearing and it was Zappa and Dee Snider and John Denver. That was the ringer though. That old John Dusseldorf walk in there. It's like, John, we like your music, you know.
Well, he's basically
defending. You know,
they're right.
Exactly.
You know,
of
but-
course, you're gonna see like a Zappa there as he jumps on that stuff. You know? He's one of the people I think are sorely missed today, man.
Yeah.
I always think of him.
Well,
and George Carlin, their wit and wisdom.
Yeah.
George Carlin always felt like he's like the Zappa of comedy to me. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Just so biting and tells it how it is. You know, really miss them today. Those two.
Yeah.
I think of them a lot.
But you know, you talk about Zappa. I think that's where Devin Townsend took over.
Yeah.
You know, of course, his strapping young lad stuff is a lot heavier than what he did. Mm-hmm. You know, but
But
Devin,
very intricate, very different.
yeah, the Devin Townsend project, what he does now,
Yeah, it's cool.
It's just so good to me.
Yeah, I dig it. And like you said, talking about the Stephen Wilson too and the Porcupine Tree.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff. There's a lot of. That's the thing. I mean, I'm stuck in 60s, 70s, pretty hardcore. I love finding bands from the
Yeah.
early 70s. Like, man, where are these guys? You know, but there is fantastic music being made. You just have to really look for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that's most certainly out there. You know, it's
Yeah.
great stuff.
It's
You're
hard-
not going to find it like in the popular. You know, that's like back in that era. You know, the popular stuff was pretty damn good. You know,
Yeah.
and that was good music. There's still some trash. You know, but. But I don't know, that era, just there's so much. Look at the Billboard charts back in like a 73 or something. It's like, man, it's just classic across.
It's like I never heard of that band.
Yeah.
Like Cap and Beyond.
Oh, God,
I don't know if you're familiar with
Oh
them.
my God, yes, yeah, I love it.
Killer band.
Love it. Debut is one of my favorites ever.
Yeah.
Just that whole album is just
Yep.
a lot of stuff puts me in mind a little bit of like what Hendrix might have done if he would have gone on, especially that the Raging River of Fear. It's got this
Yeah.
like Hendrix riff in it, but
Yeah.
that's a super band. That was the Rod Evans from
Deep
freshly
Purple?
kicked out of Deep Purple, and bassist and guitarist from
That was Nick Simper.
Iron
wasn't it?
Butterfly,
Yeah.
and then the drummer I think played for like Johnny Winter or somebody.
But yeah, they were super good.
Oh man, that debut is fire.
What's that song? Mesmerizing
Yeah.
something. Dude, that's
Dancing slowly backwards or something, and
Which you look at that.
oh no, I love that. That's one of those finds. I kind of got on that mission through Metallica's garage days,
Yeah.
and finding the band Budgie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus, this is like early Rush meets early Sabbath, man. Who are these guys, man?
Yeah.
You know, and through them, it's like, well, this band's out there I never heard about. What other bands? And started, finding like Sir Lord Baltimore and Cactus and just all these heavy Sir Lord Baltimore. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, they were heavy.
Yeah.
They were.
Oh my God, yeah.
Heavy band.
The singer, just that crazy singer back there playing the drums like a madman and singing.
Yeah, because I actually have a box set. It's got like 3 CDs in it. It's Sir Lord Baltimore.
Oh, it's killer. Love them.
They were criminally underrated.
Cactus was so good, and that was such a killer band. Yeah.
Carmine Appice.
Oh yeah. They only made that band because him and Tim Bogert, the bass player, wanted to make a super group with Beck.
Yep, that's a good
And he
record.
they only made the one record.
Yeah, I know.
It's like Cactus had a really more interesting
yeah.
kind of discography.
Well, what's the name of that song? Parchment's Farm or something like that?
Yeah.
That's a good song.
Restrictions.
Yeah. The whole record.
Never swim in your ocean, babe. Yeah, they were kind of like an American version of Zeppelin, I thought. They remind me a little bit of Zepp. There's that power and very heavy. And
Because one guy,
they had a couple things kind of going against them. First of all, that name sucks. Cactus. I expect them to sound like ZZ Top or something, you know what I'm saying? But they were more like this. They sound like Zeppelin. Plus, they're from New Jersey. Cactus, what? And the singer, Rusty Day, he was a cool front man, but not the best voice. They didn't have really probably the greatest songs, but man, they tore it out. God, those guys were good. Yeah. Of course, Bogert and Appice with the Vanilla Fudge, when they first did that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so many bands, Zeppelin, Deep Purple, they all wanted to be them guys, It's crazy.
And they were almost. Vanilla Fudge was a very, very good band.
Yeah.
Very
taking
good
taking how they took the hits of the day and made them like heavy.
Yeah. Because after that, what was it? Didn't Carmine go from Cactus to Rod Stewart or something like that?
He co-wrote "Do You Think I'm Sexy?"
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that's him playing the disco drums on that. That one where the money was at. That's a huge hit.
Yeah.
Rod Stewart. Yeah, I love it with the faces. That stuff's classic.
Yeah.
The small face. Talking about the early British bands, the Small Faces. Man, that was a good one.
Yeah, it's small faces. Then they took the small off and they were just the faces or something.
Well, yeah, because Marriott left. Who was one I could talk about all. Steve Marriott was a badass.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Peter Frampton. They don't know Marriott, and that's not right. That guy, Robert Plant, Geddy Lee, so many people stole his vocal style, first of all. He's a great guitarist, great songs, a front man. But yeah, he left to form Humble Pie with Peter Frampton.
Yeah.
And they were all, the Small Faces, they were all like 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah.
And they had two guys. They needed two guys to replace Steve Marriott, Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood.
Yeah.
They're both like 6 foot, so that's when they just became the Faces. They were no longer small,
We're all got some talent.
You got a little height to them now. Love that stuff. That's classic, man. But yeah, Steve Marriott, that early Small Faces stuff.
He was a filthy guitar player.
Yeah,
I thought it.
He played the harmonica and just his voice, just this little 5'2" guy, big voice, man.
But Frampton, he was, by all counts, man, he's a phenomenal guitar player.
Oh yeah, well sure.
He's good, but he's not.
Love his music. He makes him not crazy about,
Yeah.
So I'm in you. But no, I mean, he was a phenom with that. Yeah, and just thinking of the Zappa song, "I Have Been in You." But yeah, that of course the Frampton Comes Alive. That was phenom. How that exploded.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it. Just mainly I definitely love the. I Feel Like I Do is just every time that's on, I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah. It's the whole vibe of that record.
Yeah.
Of that whole concert. I can imagine.
You got that. It just feel like I feel like I do on. It's just it just feels like it's the 70s, you know.
Yeah.
You just captures that vibe for sure.
Well, you know it's the 70s when you hear that record.
yeah.
I mean, you could probably put it on any time, like 30 years from now. You're like, if you've never heard, it's like, man, when's that from? The 70s?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
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 That's one in the collection. My brother, sisters, one of them picked it up. I've got so much of their old vinyl.
Yeah.
He was big Sticks. He was clearing the Sticks, and then my sister Melanie. Pat Benatar, Journey, all that stuff of the day, Foreigner, all that kind of late 80s, you know. I like it, I like it, you know. And through that, I dug deeper to the early 70s and found like the really good shit, though, you know.
Yeah. It's stuff that nobody really gave a chance to. But, I mean, they were probably, openers for, like, big bands like Zeppelin and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But they never reached that pinnacle of being the guy.
Yeah, yeah. Atomic Rooster, there's another one. Man, I love them. Atomic Rooster. Vincent Crane on the keys. That's
Yeah.
one of them that should have been bigger than they were. You
Yeah.
know? Fantastic, man.
That dude went on to singer. He went on to do all
Sung
kinds
with
of
a
stuff.
bunch of people, yeah.
Yeah.
Sing
Yeah.
with them and oh God, what is his name? Oh man, it's got Hallows Eve. I love it. I was just thinking about that the other day. The Monument album, I love that. Or they do the Queen version of Sheer Heart Attack.
Yeah. Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, nice, nice, brother. I love that.
And they're Shocker, right?
Yeah. Hallows Eve. Death and Insanity. Look at this. Yeah, you've got an awesome collection, bro.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, this is the one for me, the Monument. Yeah, I loved this back in the day.
Rock Gut.
Rock Gut. Clean my gun, something like that. Yeah, those are sweet. Nice vinyl.
Yeah,
I've got that one on cassette.
Yeah, that's how I got it back in the day. I didn't even know anything about this here until my buddy. He goes, man, you got to listen to Death and Insanity. I said, I've never listened to it.
Oh yeah.
And well, I play that
Texas band, I believe. They came out of Texas.
Yeah, that song "Lethal Tendencies."
Yeah.
It's on
Classic thrash.
Yeah, it's on my jump drive in my truck because they don't make CD players in vehicles.
Yeah. I know, not a drag.
Yeah, to say the least.
Like there was another killer band that came out of Texas. Remember Rigor Mortis? That was a good one.
Yes.
They're hardcore. Yeah.
It's funny because when that first Rigor Mortis came out, I bought it on cassette. Yeah.
I've got that one on cassette as well.
I
The
think-
smashed in looking skull, the red case.
Yeah, like the eyes been kicked in or something.
Yeah. Brutal. Very brutal.
Matter of fact, I got it on CD.
Oh yeah, that's I love that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. You've heard of this?
She's
band?
just Sir Lord Boredom right there.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah. That first album, Kingdom Come, that's so good, man. Heavy. I mean, you can hear. I hear a lot of bands now. You kind of get this. Australia's got kind of this retro sound.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of started with what was that band? What were they called? I'm having a complete brain fart. But like, now you got like a.
Welcome to my world.
No, it's like there's a few different the psychedelic porn crumpets and what was the name? The King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard. And,
Dude, they're badass.
yeah, they kind of got that retro sound though. Some of this stuff kind of puts me in mind a little bit of like Kingdom
Yeah.
Come.
Well,
I'm thinking of Wolf Mothers. I'm thinking of
Yeah.
Wolf Mother very much. Their that debut album, badass.
Yeah.
Every song's a banger, but definitely it puts me in mind of like Sir Lord Baltimore and Atomic Rooster and that early '70s. They kind of put a new spin on that kind of retro sound, heavy retro.
Because, I mean, you can almost make argument with their first record,
I love it.
which it came out, what, 70?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1970.
1970.
You can say they were probably right there with Sabbath and all them
For
guys.
first
Yeah.
metal, yeah.
Yeah, for a hard rock, heavy metal record.
Absolutely.
You can say that.
I would absolutely say that.
A lot of people probably think, you don't talk about
70 was Sabbath's year. They put not one but two
Yeah.
amazing albums out. The debut and then
Yeah,
and
Paranoid.
which should have been called War Pigs. That was a swing and a miss there.
Whoa.
And that cover is so, I couldn't stand that cover. The weird little Asian looking dude. And they just found this bad, like foreboding, the debut cover with that witch and the scene. And
Actually, right here.
oh, yes. Classic.
This here's the Rhino reissue.
Ooh, nice.
Of it.
Beautiful.
180 gram vinyl.
It's got the Evil Woman's on here.
Yep.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, it's on the Wizard, and I love that. That's a great 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Of that. And that's
Yeah,
they did the same really for me. My favorite's probably Sabotage by them. I love that album. That 1-2 punch of Hole in the Sky into Symptom of the Universe. They just knock your teeth in with that one, man.
Thank you.
That's
my favorite Aussie era Sabbath record.
Sabotage?
Yes. This is...
Yeah, for the longest time, it was always kind of a tie between the debut and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. But as time went on, it's like, man, Sabotage is the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
It's their heaviest. It's Ozzy singing at his angriest. His voice is insanely good on that one.
Yeah, the song...
The song, The Writ. Yeah.
Yeah, Bed of Fingers, Sleeping Village, and then The Warning.
Yeah.
Like I told you before, man, that's probably my favorite.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was from, like, you already know, that's an Ainsley Dunbar Retaliation song. Actually, that was a remake. And Evil Woman was someone else, too. They didn't like doing that one, I guess. But I always loved that song. I thought it was cool. But the label wanted them to cover that song, I guess. The song. Thought it would be a hit. But someone else's.
But that's fine.
Evil Woman, don't you play your games with me. It's got a good riff on it, man.
Yeah, the whole Sabotage record, man.
It's so good, man. The megalomaniac thing it goes into with sounds like a opera.
Yeah, it's like they almost did like a Zeppelin-ish type.
Yeah,
deal going
well,
on.
definitely. I always thought Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and yeah, Sabotage they were dipping their toes in Prague for sure.
Yeah.
Well, hell, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath actually has Rick Wakeman playing some keyboards on it.
Yes. Yeah. I like that song too.
Oh yeah.
The Sabbath Bloody Sabbath.
Oh yeah, that's a heavy riff, dude.
Yep.
That's definitely my top 3 albums by him.
Yeah.
That and then the debut and just those first 6 Aussie albums. Those are mandatory, you know.
Yeah, if you don't have those.
Yeah, you better get them.
I mean, if you want, you can skip his solo stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with Ozzy.
Yeah.
Ozzy.
I mean, they're good. They're good
Randy
records.
Rhoads, boy. Randy Rhoads. That's just the first 2 albums, I think.
Yeah.
Because of Randy.
I mean,
Prince Randy.
Yeah. I mean, you go from Randy to Jake E. Lee's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, Randy was excellent to hear, but I thought Jake E. Lee had that it factor.
Yeah.
You know, I thought he was
More kind of guitar hero-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, Randy wanted to be a classical guitar player, basically.
Well, listen to D.
Yeah.
You know.
Beautiful little piece of music there.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that stuff. That's definitely one of the first cassettes I bought by it was a Castle Records tapes in Greenfield. And I was probably 10 or 11 or something. Walked down and bought the cassette of a Blizzard of Oz, and I wore that out. I thought that was just, oh man. Especially the very first opening track, I Don't Know, and that guitar comes in, man. It's just like, God, it sounds like a jet taking off or something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I loved that. Was clear into that.
I always liked that song, Over the Mountain. I always thought that was their best stuff he did with Randy.
Yeah, the Madman album. Well, my favorite song that is Diary of a Madman.
Yeah.
Very progressive, crazy changes in that.
Yes, it goes, you know, it's just crazy sound.
Love it, yeah. Well, is he getting ready to do his very Sabbath doing this thing they're getting ready to do?
I don't think he's going to be there.
He's going to be sitting in a chair just kind of waving to people. I was still alive. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, dragging him out there. It's kind of elder abuse, if you ask me.
I mean, they're bad.
Sharon got a wardrobe to replace or something, you know.
I mean, people probably think it'd be all right. Just have him off to the side and have a light on him.
That's kind of what they did with him when they inducted him into the.
Yeah, he just sit there.
Was the Hall of Fame or something they had?
Yeah.
They came out, a couple different singers came out, and it was a Jelly Roll. Some guy butchered something. Mom, I'm Coming Home was so flat. It was awful on it. I don't know if you saw that.
Flat?
His voice was. Well, I mean, he's not flat, but his voice was flat, and it was Maynard saying "Crazy Train," which is it was kind of a weird.
I mean, it took them out of their wheelhouse and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
you could tell Maynard he looked completely uncomfortable. Yeah. And Wolfgang was playing the shredding guitar.
I mean, Jelly Roll looked really completely out of sorts. He did not know.
I don't know his stuff too much. There's a lot of people that really dig his music. It's very soulful.
Hey, that's cool, man.
Yeah. There's a lot of newer music I need to get turned on. There's some good country stuff I need to check out more, like Sturgill Simpson is one. And
He's a
because
lot.
I love like I was never big in the country growing up. That wasn't something in the household a lot, but I definitely kind of discovered the outlaw stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
Waylon Jennings is fantastic. Willie Nelson, all that. That's some great stuff
Yeah.
there. Great songs to be found there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Only thing people got to do, they just got to dig a little bit. You know, get away from the normal, you know, middle of the road type stuff. Go to the stuff that's running in the ditch a little bit. You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. Yeah, kind of.
That's where you're going to find that thing. Something that's going to sit with you just a little bit different.
Something that's yours, you know. It's like
Yep.
this is my music, you know. This is like
Yep.
no one else is listening to this. This is
And it doesn't matter what it is. If it's poison, run it up the flagpole.
yeah,
You know?
And I try not to get too snobbish, kind of, because everything that's thinking something pretty personal. You go back in someone's music. That's my music, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it moves you and it's into it, that's great. I mean, that's
Yeah.
great. I mean, a lot of that.
Yep.
You know, every rose has a thorn. It's a fantastic song. Whatever, you know. I don't need to hear it again, but you know, I'm sure it's someone's favorite song and they love it. You know.
Yep.
That's great. And
That was
that's,
crazy when that came out back in the 80s and stuff. You know, it was like, oh man, oh no, it's catchy. It's catchy as hell.
It was such a formula with all those bands where they had like the opening rocking song. That was their first video, and then they came the power ballad. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, you had to have a ballad.
they had the power ballad came out next. You know, and
Yeah.
they
Well,
all
speaking of
kinda
that.
here it is. Yeah, look at them.
Some hot chicks there, isn't it?
Cover of Cosmopolitan as well. Look at them. Yeah. You gotta cry tough.
That's a good song.
That is actually pretty cool.
And Look What the Cat Dragged In was a really good song too. I think that's their.
Like I said, a lot of this stuff. I mean, I can dig it now. You know.
Yeah.
Say, hey, it's dudes playing actual instruments and stuff. You know, it's not some guy behind a laptop
and they look
pushing
like,
buttons.
yeah, and they look like chicks.
Yeah, they definitely do look like chicks. Yeah, that was one I incessantly made fun of back in the day. I have to admit them, and was the one the Warrant, and I just can't even look at them, their videos and all that. And just that's why when Metallica came along, and you know, looking all dirty Motorhead looking guys, you know,
Yeah.
warts and just. Yeah, like that. They did not give a shit. Metal up your ass. Kill them all. It's just this brutal, fast, heavy music. Look,
It's
at,
weird,
all.
'cause-
Look at all
'cause-
that Queen. Nice.
I
Talk
like
about roots of metal. Those first two Queen albums. And you talk about the roots of like, yeah, jumping all over the place here. Sorry, but I just saw
No, you're fine.
those
man.
first two Queen albums are outstanding. Queen 2 with was it the Ogre Battle?
Yeah,
That's like proto thrash, man.
yeah. There's a
That first one's it's heavy. Son and daughter.
key.
Heavy. Great King Rat and Liar.
That
Heavy.
that song there is just stupid. Then this here is another heavy ass.
Oh yeah, man. I love that Queen, early Queen. You can't go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Brighton Rock's so cool. One of my favorite albums ever is Live Killers. As for a live album, it just
Yeah.
tearing it up on that, man. Like the version of Brighton Rock on that when he goes into the Brian May goes into this whole echo solo thing he
Yeah.
does. Love that, man. It's so good. Stone Cold Crazy, yeah. What a fantastic band that was, huh? They were very one of those bands. I look at them and like Elton. There's a few that I felt kind of carried the torch that the Beatles left behind, as of bands that just would go everywhere.
Yeah, there it is.
Just when they're that's trouble. Heavy duty.
Yeah.
Black Shapes of Doom. Love this album.
Always like that song "Misery."
Yeah, we played that one, Punishment. We played that one. It's kind of the mellow one, right? That
Yeah.
little slide guitar solo in it. And the Misery Shows. Yeah, I love that album, man. That's so good. Never got to see Queen live. That was before my time.
I used to talk to a guy. This been many years ago. He was talking. He goes, "You know something?" I go, "What's that?" He goes, "I seen Queen. And I seen AC/DC on their first U.S. tours."
Oh, wow, nice.
I said, "Where'd you see him at?" He goes, "At the Newport, but back in, it's called something different."
It
You
was
know?
Agora.
Agora, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, "No kidding."
You prick.
Yeah, no kidding. He goes, "To this day, that is still his best concert he'd ever seen with those two bands."
Oh, is AC/DC with Queen?
No. It was just they were separate times.
But Queen at the Newport Agora. They're playing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my God.
I could
See, in
not-
a small place like that, yeah,
I could not
forget it.
imagine how loud, because there's no loud ordinance back in.
Yeah.
I could not imagine how stupid loud that was.
Oh, I'm sure they're powerful, boy. That's a full-on stadium band. In fact, I always said that Live Aid is the one time that Freddie Mercury finally had an audience. That was the right size for him. You know what I'm saying?
And
a
it was.
billion people watching. You know.
It's funny because I watched all that shit when it was on TV
Yeah,
back
me too. I
in.
taped them on VHS and
Oh, did you?
recorded them absolutely. Yeah.
I did not tape it, but
yeah, I recorded them.
but I remember watching all that stuff. I thought it was the best stuff ever.
Yeah. Oh, they even then you could tell their medley of hits.
It was different.
Stole the show pretty
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
Sabbath had the reunion, and Zeppelin had the. It was a bit disastrous. At the time, I didn't think it was so bad, though. You know,
Yeah.
when they had Phil and the power station drummer back on the drums, and a little bit of a mess. They can't blame the drummers. I mean,
No.
I'm sorry, Page has always been kind of sloppy. You watch the footage of him back live, he's so out of it, dude. He's kind of a sloppy guitarist live.
He's always been a pretty sloppy guitarist.
Yeah. He's brilliant in the studio, but live, a lot of the stuff, it's like,
Yeah.
Jimmy, you're drunk. And he was. But that band, that's one of those bands. It's those two, you got the Golden God Plant and Guitar Hero Page, but it's the fucking rhythm section. That's the main part of that band.
John
boy.
Paul Jones and Lil Bob.
Oh, God. I got to see John Paul Jones. It was 2007 Bonnaroo. It's when the police did their reunion. I got to see that.
Oh, really?
Tool was down there. But there was this late night, like 2 a.m. jam session with Questlove on drums, Ben Harper playing that thing he does, the little lap thing he does, and John Paul Jones.
That's all you
And they
need.
came out and just did funky versions of Led Zeppelin songs. And yeah, that was pretty cool. And they like messed up, and Jones make this face. It was just an impromptu jam, you know. There's probably maybe 400 or 500 people watching it. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, they probably said, let's just go out there and fart around.
I got some great pictures from it. Actually, I took this one. I had this camera at the time, a little LED screen. And I took this one of John Paul Jones, and I heard this guy behind me go, "Oh, that's a good one," like that. And I turned around, and it was the dude from the Flight of the Conchords. You know what that is, the Flight of the Conchords?
Oh, hell no.
No, it was an HBO show. He's been in a bunch of movies. He was in What We Do in the Shadows, and have you ever seen that, the movie?
No, I ain't seen that.
No, it's I can't remember, is it Jermaine Clemens or something? What is his name? I don't know. I always call him Tenacious Dundee because they were from New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
And they remind me of Tenacious D. I'm like, Tenacious Dundee. And he just kind of made this face at me, you know.
What the hell?
What is his name? Jermaine? Never seen The Flight of the Conchords. It's pretty good stuff. It's worth checking out. A lot like Tenacious D, a little more mellow, you know.
Okay.
I'm sure you know Jack Black and Tenacious D. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Saw them guys several times back in the day.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. They're always fun. I love that first album. Was so much fun.
What's that called? Just a Tenacious D?
Yeah, and just had them on the cover with Satan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they looked like they were Satan's babies or something on the cover. Yeah, that was a fun album. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, that Maiden, nice. I've been wanting to get where they the spines of the CDs make the Eddie face. I'm trying to get the. Yeah, you got it. There it is.
Well,
I've completely completed mine there, but yeah, that's
I'll tell you, right here.
there it is.
Here, I'll show you this.
Yeah, I'm loving all the Maiden stuff. Eddie. Oh, look at this. Yeah, I've seen this before. I've seen this collection. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That was the
yeah.
whole,
That's
first
got 'em.
album.
So you got them all there as well. Nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I need that.
$1,000. I'm jealous.
Fun stuff. Yeah. The Mighty Maiden. Still kicking it. Unbelievable.
And a wife bought that for me at FYE.
Oh, bless her heart.
So, yeah, I know. I think it was only like $75 for it
Back in
at that time.
first came out. Yeah. I'm sure it's, you go on eBay or something. It's like,
Oh, it's outrageous.
Is it?
Yeah, it's about $1,000 or so.
Oh, my
for
goodness.
it. Yeah, it's
everything's expensive now. Concerts are crazy.
yeah.
All these concerts went back to back in the day. The Newport, $10, $15,
Yeah. So that's one thing. Me and Wurzball were talking about going to go see collection stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I got on looking at tickets. I went, for 2 tickets, it's like $110.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
I went, no.
That's not that bad, really. For today, that's not that bad.
No, damn it, it is too.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's not
That's for
just-
2 tickets. I mean, usually that's like 1 ticket anymore. It seems like it's
well,
crazy.
Well, if Megan comes around,
Yeah, there's certain. It's like, yeah, I'll pay that. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Go see the Mighty Maiden. I mean, how many more times you gonna get to see them? You know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they're like I say, they're starting their new tour, but they're over in Europe doing that stuff right now.
You gotta do Europe. They still that's an area that just never gave up on their metal.
No,
It's always popular. It's been popular over there forever, man.
especially if
Heavy
you
metal.
hit Norway or Switzerland.
And Germany with their big that Wochenfest, whatever they do.
Oh, I would love to go see that.
Yeah, a buddy of mine went to. He said he got straight up lost. It's just huge, man. Yeah.
Big ass cornfield.
I was talking. Bonnaroo was kind of like that. When I went to that Bonnaroo, it was just like, this is too much, man. It's so hot. I remember my buddy at the time was like, I think the soldiers in Iraq have it better than this one. Hot and dehydrated, but got to see some cool bands. Wolf Mother was there. The Flaming Lips, they're interesting live. That was fun. Not a big fan, but live, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're a cool band.
Yeah,
they're a cool band.
Yeah, I could dig some of this.
Some like
stuff.
the Black Keys. I like Black Keys.
Yeah, you know, it kind of rode in the coattails, I think, of what Jack White did and the White Stripes. You know, kind of retro sound, but I like them. You know, a little two for band, 2-piece. Yeah, it's very cool, very soulful.
Yeah,
bluesy type retro sound. Yeah, I can dig it.
I get into a lot of music. You know,
No,
so
that's great. I love it, definitely. I mean,
you
like,
got to have a variety, you know.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've got some different things I listen to, like Mannheim Steamroller. I love those, like the little season albums and all that.
Yeah.
That's fun. I want something like mellow, like classical type stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly kind of stuck at 60s, 70s, right in there. That 63 to 73, right in there. That whole area you can't go wrong with so much in that era. There's just so much good. Still digging up stuff in there, you know. But there's still, you know, I know there's still a lot of. I'm listening to the 80s and 90s. You know, that early 90s. For me, that was like, you know, being Gen X and all that. To me, that was the last great gasp of rock and roll was the grunge and all that, and the early 90s. And because you look by the late 90s, it was coming like boy bands and Britney Spears starting to get like poppy, like almost like the 80s again, you know, in a way. And
well, these radio stations were just regurgitating that stuff 24/7.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man, I really don't want to. I don't get this. But you listen to it now, it's like, damn, that's catchy.
I think, the thing with the Nirvana, I think I was never big into the album, and Nevermind and all that. It's got some catchy songs and great lyrics on that. But the fact it did kick down this door where radio execs, you know, these radio record companies just started signing anything and everything.
Yeah.
You got, all of a sudden you had like bands like Primus and Ween. And just these
Primus
weirdo bands, like, how's that even popular? How's people listening?
Yeah.
Primus is out there, dude. I mean,
It's funny. The first time I seen them, they did their hits, and then they did the whole Farewell to Kings album.
I was at that one. Yeah, up
In
at
Columbus?
the LC. Yeah, front row, brothers.
Dude,
Front row for that.
We were at the same concert.
That's front row with the sword opening.
Dude, they were good.
No, I was front row for that. I had to be because they were doing Farewell to Kings is that was the seed that my brother's 8-track is talking about earlier. The seed that planted the mighty oak that is my collection, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, they did the full Farewell to Kings, and they came out and did classic Primus.
Yeah.
That was the last time to see him with the original drummer. They got that new drummer now.
Yeah, after they did Closer to the Heart,
Yeah.
we left. That's what I wanted to hear.
You didn't want to hear Cygnus X1, dude? That's the one I wanted to hear, yeah.
And
They go into the black hole and all that. Oh, my God, that's the music, and that's insane.
Yeah, I wanted to hear them do Closer to the Heart.
Yep.
And then
They did that. It's probably of shows I regret missing the most was Primus and Ween played Red Rocks. And I've seen Ween out there. I saw Ween out there with Galactic and Tenacious D back in the day. That's the two favorite weirdo bands of the '90s.
Yeah.
And I didn't go like an idiot. I should have done it. And I come to find it ended up being this whole thing from South Park. Was like it turned 25 years old or something.
Oh, yeah.
And they had the South Park guys on the stage, and they're doing like the theme music for them, and both bands were combining. But towards the end, was it Matt Stone, who's a big Rush freak? They had Geddy and Alex come out, and they did Closer to the Heart. Had him play drums with them. I don't know if you've seen that footage.
No, I haven't seen
or not.
that.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
I was
great.
like, man, it's like the holy trifecta of nerd rock. I should be there, man. It's like once they came walking, you already had Ween and Primus on the stage, and here comes the members of Rush, you know. So
And if people's never heard that song, Closer to the Heart, you need to listen to it.
that's a good song.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God, it's so good.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
Just like
song.
their first record.
Yeah.
It's straight up classic 70s rock and roll.
Oh, their debut, they were just Rush was trying to be Zeppelin on their first record.
And it-
I think it's when they got Neil on the second. He came, he joined the band, and they started trying to be more like Yes and Genesis and all that stuff. They,
Well, that's Neil's fault.
partly, I think I know Alex and Geddy wanted to go that route, and John Rutsey,
yeah.
the original drummers, like wanted to be more like a Bad Company or something. Like,
Yeah.
we got to write hits and be
But
like.
Rutsey, man, he hit hard.
Oh man, he's killer on that first album. He's badass on that.
Yeah,
dude.
listen to him and Clive Burr.
But yeah,
You know, they got that same crack to it.
yeah, I can hear that. He was powerful for sure. I mean, his fills on Working Man and all that, and it was the Before and After. That's a good one on there. I love that song.
What song?
A song called Before and After on their debut. Yeah, I love that one. You can really hear hints of where they were going on that one.
Yeah, I got
Nice. I see what it just says. Is that the debut
Yeah, it's a box set.
of the first album?
Yeah.
No shit.
It's
Look
on 200 gram vinyl.
oh man, look at that.
And dude, let me tell you what. It
A lot of people, this is their favorite one by them because they got weird after this, man. I mean, they were trying to be like a Zeppelin prototype, like a heavy rock band.
I mean, you
know?
got Finding My Way.
Oh, so good.
It's-
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Take a Friend is just
It's a good one. Here again, that's got some. I love the early Alex Lifeson. He was at his best in the early days.
Yeah.
And he just got eclipsed
And then-
by Lee and
Yeah.
Peart.
And then you got In the Mood and Working Man.
Yeah. I never cared for In the Mood. It always sound like a damn Leonard Skinner song to me.
It does.
Before and After, that's the one. I
Yeah.
love that one. I love and What You're Doing, that's heavy. Boy, that's a heavy riff. Sure, where Anthrax did that, did a remake of that. It was pretty
Yeah.
cool. They did that one in Anthem. And of course, Working Man is, that's a lot of people, even if you don't like Rush, a lot of people like that song. So it is just that classic sounding early 70s heavy rock,
There's-
Zeppelin-esque.
It's funny because a little radio station in Cleveland, Ohio played that song, and people called in and goes, "Hey, man, what's that, the New Zeppelin?" I go, "No."
She was, what was her name? The
that's a-
radio DJ. She was the one that hosted when I went and saw Geddy's up in Cleveland, his book tour. She was the host. She was the one
Oh, was
asking
she?
the questions.
That's
what was her
pretty cool.
name? Damn, I should remember it. But yeah, we looked for bathroom break songs back then, and this was a 7-minute song, so they put it on.
Yeah,
And people
okay.
started requesting, when's the new Zeppelin coming out? I was like, not Zeppelin. Check those out.
Yeah, those there are basically like, of course, the reproductions of. It's probably something they handled.
I've never
out.
seen those shots of them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
On Moon Records. Very cool. That's sweet.
But
dude.
yeah, I've only played this record once.
Yeah.
And when I put it on, man, there's no crackle, there was no pop. It was just straight.
That's beautiful.
You know, of course, the reissue tells you, breaks everything down.
Oh, that's good stuff, man.
And this is just like the family tree of Rush.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there she is.
It looks like they went with the original color too. I like that. That was what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Because if you buy it now, it's pink.
Yep.
That was supposed. That's how and the record company messed it up.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like this red color, and it came out pink. And they're like, oh, okay.
That ain't right.
They're Canadian. They're like, oh, whatever, okay.
They don't know any better. But yeah, I mean, the vinyl.
That's
is,
awesome. I love that. I wonder what that was. It just said just nothing but Rush, and I'm like,
They actually put the original label on it from Moon
nice.
Records.
That's pretty sweet.
But yeah, it's a smoker of a record.
Oh, yeah.
If nobody's ever heard it, man, you
Oh yeah. There's a lot of people don't like him for the voice and the weirdness, but on this, they're straight up just rock band.
They're
hard rock band.
yeah,
man.
and that's what you want out of a band like this.
Killing it. Yeah.
Straight out Canada.
Yeah.
You've heard you like Triumph, right?
Oh yeah, and the Rush Light.
Yeah, this here.
Rick Emmons a badass guitarist.
Yep, that one there.
Oh nice.
Now, like,
oh,
Force's
yeah.
box set.
Hell yeah, very nice. Yeah, I think they're getting ready to do a tour the first time in like 17 years.
Oh, they finally made amends?
Triumph, I think they're going to. Yeah, I think I saw something. It might be bullshit and stuff you see on
No, and he's got-
Facebook. You see a lot of fake stuff.
Yeah.
But that'd
Yeah.
be cool to see. I've
It's-
never seen them live.
Me neither.
Yeah. Great band, another great Canadian band.
But yeah, I mean, it's got the limited edition double vinyl album, Live in Cleveland. Hello, Cleveland.
Another show I regret missing.
Got the picture disc, 7-inch vinyl single. You know.
Sweet.
No, they go through the whole Rip and Roar. They just really blew it out with this box set. But yeah, I mean, it's got a little bit of everything.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah, when Rush did their Time Machine tour, I saw it in Columbus. They went on to Cleveland. I didn't bother to go. I should have gone because that's where they made the Blu-ray, the DVD concert at. They filmed it in Cleveland.
But yeah, this is a.
Yeah, it's
It
got all
goes
kinds
through-
of stuff, huh?
Here's a 7-inch. Yeah, I just slam all this stuff in here. But
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, they're a great band, man.
I think so.
Such a criminally underrated.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Some great song. Rick Emmett, man. They always called him Rush Light. He's even got like a high voice like Getty.
yeah, it's funny. My old boss at work and stuff. He actually seen these guys in the old Cowboys Stadium down in Dallas, Texas.
Nice.
I said, you could still hear. I guess they were just stupid loud.
Triumph, really.
Yeah.
Nice. All the bands back in. It was like
Well, they had nothing to calm them down a little bit,
it was like an arms race to see who could be the loudest back in the day. I think Motorhead won. I know Purple was like Deep Purple had like they were on the Guinness Book of World Records too.
Yeah,
I think being extremely loud,
Until Motorhead.
Now they've seen Mark II Deep Purple. That might have been like the greatest rock band ever, really.
I would
man.
agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
And when they came back in '84, that Perfect Strangers album, God, that's a slamming album, man. Yeah, John Lord's keyboards on the. Yeah.
And he holds that.
That one and that Knocking on Your Back Door and oh God, great album.
You always like that because I always had that. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, don't. It's like an Alfred Hitchcock movie or something. It's like suspenseful.
Then you hear a bass.
Yeah, the mix on that. Fire. I love it. Fantastic album. That was so cool. And of course, that didn't last long because Mr. Blackmore, kind of the notorious dick of rock and roll. Why everybody talks about him. I was like, yeah, he's a little hard to work with.
As they say, a wanker.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites, so I put him in my top 5 guitarists.
Who would you say your top 3 guitarist is?
Top 3 would be I got to go with Hendrix at the top. He's like the big bang of electric guitars, as far as I'm concerned. Everything he's just what he did with the look, everything was just the guy was the complete package, and what he did with the feedback and it just in the
He
studio.
worked that feedback.
Yeah, and then second, I'd say Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
Because he can't. And third would be probably Stevie Ray Vaughan. I got to see him High State Fair.
Jesus.
Yeah. Those probably be my top 3, and if I had to round it out to 4 and 5, probably be Gilmore and then Blackmore, Stratocaster guys, the Stratomasters I call them.
Yeah.
But all those guys, I can hear players emulate them though. Like Stevie Ray can sound like Hendrix.
Yeah.
And after people can sound kind of like Gilmore or Blackmore. No one sounds like Jeff Beck. No one can repeat his style.
Yeah.
He was a complete one-off.
I
to
thought-
me, he's just.
I always thought he was a lot better than Hendrix.
Yeah, absolutely.
By a mile.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to technical, of course, he had a lot more time and stuff as well. Hendrix was came and went, But Jeff Beck was doing this thing with his pinky and the volume, a knob, and the tremolo bar, where he'd do these weird fades, and just no one else sounds like him or can sound like. I've never heard anybody able to emulate his sound. I mean, I've heard people can sound like Stevie Ray or Hendrix or Jimmy Page or whoever. Yeah. Brian May's another one has such a bizarre tone. That's hard to, and that is
It almost
special.
It almost sounds whiny.
Yeah, it's really a warm tone in the way it's very warm sounding. The way he would layer the guitars and stuff, you know what I mean. But when you really listen to it, it's actually it's a steely sound to it. It's very it's hard to.
Now that you mention it, it's
fantastic. I love. He's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Brian May, and just the stuff they did in the studio. Get back on.
You probably
Queen.
think I'm nuts for my top 3.
No, I know.
Roy Gallagher.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, I love him.
Number 1 for me.
Dude, the Irish Wonder. He's awesome, man. I love that. I love that you mentioned him, dude.
I love his guitar playing.
Oh, he's fantastic. Stuff at Isle of Wight he did. He's with the band Taste.
Taste.
They tear it up, yeah.
Box
Look at you. Nice.
I know. Then of course I got Richie Blackmore.
Yeah, he's in your top 3.
Yeah, he's number 2. Then Gary Moore is my third.
Oh, nice. Absolutely.
Gary Moore, just the way he
Yeah.
played that heavy blues. And that,
Intense player, too.
his tone was a heavy.
You ever listen to his early band Skid Row? You ever listen to that stuff?
Yes.
Oh, people say that, you think Sebastian Bach. No,
guys.
This is way better. Gary Moore's Skid Row is spot on. Yeah, Shredder. Shredder. I like how you're mentioning some fairly rare guys.
And
I like that.
another guitarist that a lot of people's never heard of, but he was in a popular band called Armored Saint. Dude named Dave Pritchard.
Okay, all right.
There's something about his playing when I hear
I know
it.
Armored Saint, yeah.
Yeah, he was the tall, blonde-haired dude.
Okay.
He ended up passing away from him. And I don't know, it just, when you hear it, man, it just sounds so...
Does it for you,
Yeah, it's so
Good tone.
refreshing. Now I'd say Dave Murray
Yeah.
from Iron Maiden.
Nice. That's more Adrian guy, but Dave is more, his little.
Well, he's Dave Murray. I think his playing is almost about like Rory Gallagher's. You know, he's got that feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you hear him play, same way it's like Richie Blackmore. I don't know.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, Blackmore.
You see what I did there? I threw some Strat guys,
Yeah,
4 Strat guys in
You
there.
did. I love the Strat guys, man.
But I had to, But
Alvin Lee, 10 years after, there's a blistering guitar. I've been listening to him a lot lately. He had a band afterwards. I just got clued in on here recently called Alvin Lee and Company.
Yeah.
Where he was kind of like had horns and stuff behind him, and that's killer. He's a beast. Man. That's the guy. Some interviewer, some British guys like ask Hendrix, is like, "Oh, how's it feel to be the greatest guitarist in the world?" It's like, I don't know, man. Ask Alvin Lee.
Yeah. Well, it's true.
Yeah. You talk about him, and I know Hendrix really loved Alvin Lee, and Terry Kath of Chicago. He's a big fan of him. He was a shredder. The Terry Kath era Chicago, one of the baddest bands, American bands ever, right there, man.
Yeah.
Because people think of,
Well, Jimi Hendrix said he was the best guitarist he'd ever heard before in his life.
About Terry, yeah.
Which I could see that.
Yeah. He was bad.
I mean, that holds a good bit of weight.
You watch that footage of him just shredding on 25 or 6-4. He's just killing it, man.
Yeah.
And then with those horns behind him, what a band that was. And Peter Cetera pussied them all out, and they became like your mom's band.
Dude, he was a wicked bass player.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A wicked bass
I
player.
didn't care for his ballads, though. That's what made him millions of dollars,
Yeah, a lot of money.
If you leave me now. And he made that, Chicago 16. And it doesn't even sound like Chicago to me. And they sold millions, They're hugely popular in the 80s.
Who do we to say?
Yeah. I liked him when it was more progressive. That's probably the hippest thing that my folks, they were on a lot of pretty corny. My dad didn't listen to too much music. He liked like marching bands and the High State Marching Band and Johnny Horton. The hippest thing they probably had in their collection was Chicago 2.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they got that for Color My World or whatever. It's kind of a hit. But, man, that's got some great stuff.
That's not a bad song.
No, I like it. No, it's good.
You ever heard MOD's version of it?
Yeah. Just butchers it. Yeah.
Well, Billy Milano butchered a lot of songs.
Yeah, I did that. And Diamonds and Rust and the Ballad of Jimi Hendrix. You're dead. Yeah. It's nice. The Milano Mosh. I love that album, though. That first MOD album. Good stuff. Yeah. Guitarists or other guitarists. Who else? Yeah, man. That's cool. You know a lot of good ones. I love that you mentioned Rory Gallagher. That's a rare. Roy Buchanan, there's a badass. He was killer.
Who?
Roy Buchanan.
Oh,
Killer,
okay.
Yeah, killer telly picker.
Yep.
He was great. There's so many. That's the thing. There's so much stuff to still discover.
I mean, my top 3 will never change.
Yeah.
But my 4 and 5, like I say, Dave Murray.
My top 5's pretty set in stone. The ones I mentioned, and if I'm getting in the 6 through 10, it's definitely May. And I have to say Neil Schon just because he's the early influence.
Yeah.
I guess he was like in the studio. He's a one-take wonder. Walks in, just plays it, and that's it. He's done. Yeah.
Like I say, I think
he's kind of a prodigy. That guy, really.
Yeah, he had heavy. Like I say, he had heavy hands, man.
Yeah.
Just the way in his tone.
Yeah, I love it. Killer.
I mean, he just has that nice.
Yeah. He's on it, man.
That open E.
Of course, you're learning from you're a young kid, learning from the likes of watching Carlos Santana, that helps, I'm sure. You know.
Which I can see that.
Yeah, yeah. So I love that, man. That Woodstock footage of Michael Shrieve was in that drum solo on Soul Sacrifice.
You know a band HSAS?
What is this?
A band called HSAS.
No.
Never heard of
I
them.
don't know if I'm familiar with that. HSAS.
Yeah.
You might stump me on one. Is that Michael Shrieve on drums or something?
Yeah.
Nah, he's
With
awesome.
Sammy Hagar.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's fine. I just watched some old Montrose footage the other night of the.
Dude, Montrose was so good.
Yeah, it was on the. I've been going back and watching the old In the Midnight Hour. Oh, that's a bomb album there. Smoking, that's a good one.
There's a little heart. Oh, I don't know where it's at.
But yeah, they had a.
There you go. A little bit of helmet.
Yeah. Was a young Sammy Hagar there. He looked funny as hell in that footage.
Oh, dude.
On the
Yeah.
singing with Montrose.
Well, he was only like in his 20s.
Yeah, you can tell he's super young. And this, with Black Oak, Arkansas, was hosting this episode. Look at the Hawkwind, nice.
Oh, you
Love
noticed?
I love Hawkwind.
Like a little bit.
Hall of the Mountain Grill, Helix. Yeah, that's they're Canadian, right?
Yeah. They're Canucks. Yeah, a little bit of Daryl Hall and John.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? That's some great songs.
I don't know where the hell it's at. It's infamous.
What was it called one more time?
HSAS.
It's like I'm guessing it's like last names, Hagar.
Yeah, Hagar Shreve, and some other cat. I tell you what,
A little one-off kind of thing they did or something.
yeah, it's just they did a song on Wider Shade of Pale.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The Procol Hero.
Yeah,
As Robin Trower. There's another great one, Robin Trower, great guitarist, Fender guy. Kind of more restrained version of Hendrix. I got to see him a couple of times at Newport.
he just had that. He had fire on him. You know,
Just size and all that.
yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it was Hagar, Schoen, Arison, and Shreve.
Nice. Oh, so it was Neil Schoen.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
God, didn't I say that?
No.
I probably didn't, did I?
That's probably what brought it up because I brought him up. So yeah.
Yeah, it was,
I thought it was the Michael Shreve that brought it up.
Yeah, you had Sammy Hagar, vocalist, lead guitarist Neil Schoen, bassist Kenny Arison, and drummer Michael Shreve.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are some good ones.
Oh my God.
It's cool. I've seen Neil Schoen's doing he's done a lot of different little side projects where he's doing I think the music he really wants to do.
Yeah.
It's a little more
I think
exploratory of like the jazz fusion stuff we were talking about and all
Yeah.
that, like the early journey.
Yeah, that's what the album cover looks like.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. I'll be damned. I'll
Dude,
check
it's
that out.
it's a ripper.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
There's so many different little things like that. They did these different collaborations. I tell you, one I really love was getting on that. I don't know, just made me think of it. But it's good, like heavy guitar, ripping in music is Bozio Levin Stevens. You ever hear that stuff?
No.
Phew. Terry Bozio, who's a complete badass, Zappa's drummer and all that. And Tony Levin, the bass player, plays the Chapman stick and all that. Played with like Peter Gabriel and King Crimson. And,
Well, there you go.
But the ringer, it's Steve Stevens, Billy Idol's guitarist.
Yeah.
And he's killing it, dude. He's playing like his flamenco stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it's killer. And then like Bozio's playing these hand drums with him, and Levin with the stand-up bass.
Oh, whenever.
And then going into stuff, it's like heavy metal like stuff. Very progressive. Those are pretty cool. Those are some cool albums. I like those a lot. For just instrumental, three guys just shredding. You know.
Yeah. You've heard that band Probot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Wasn't that Dave Grohl's little?
Yeah.
Where he sound like the band he was. Like one sounds like
Well, like
Celtic Frost, and he sounds like Cathedral in one song, and
yeah. Well, he actually got the singers and stuff like that. And
like it's one of the best Motorhead songs ever, man. To Shake Your Blood or whatever,
Yeah.
that's killer on that. I was like, man, that's like I haven't heard Motorhead do a song that good, you know, for a while.
yeah,
Just Dave Grohl just kind of copying those styles, you know.
yeah, yeah.
He's something else. He's pretty great. I've never been big Foo Fighters, but I love his enthusiasm for music and everything.
Yeah, his enthusiasm.
He's a fun figure.
Yeah, I can get into that, but
Not into Foo Fighters. Never into them. I couldn't get into
there's
them.
only like two songs I really like.
I've never. I'm the same way as them. And,
well, Everlong and My Hero's the only songs I care to listen to.
yeah, I was never.
I mean,
big
it's
on-
probably-
great playing. It sounds great. Just I don't know. I just never quite did it for me.
I don't know.
I love it that they're out there carrying the torch, though. I mean, they're playing
Yeah.
rock music. You know, it's like
Yeah.
guys. You know, it's nice to see. Not somebody just with a laptop and a big light show. You know.
I mean,
That's so
People
much.
dig that though.
You think? Yeah. You see.
Dude, they're selling out these humongous
Oh,
stadiums.
I
The
see
dude
it.
up there.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah,
like
I've seen it. Yeah.
it's like, hey, whatever, man.
Crazy. Yeah.
And dude, they're banking. We're banking.
I mean, I guess that's what Gen Z, whatever. That's their sound. They need their own thing to identify and find. You know, I don't want to listen to your grandpa's music. And
That's
I realize the music I'm listening to, even in the '80s, I was like, that's old people music. They just calling it classic rock even back then. You know, the stuff that was, even in the '80s. You know?
It's hard to believe, bands like Nirvana is now considered.
Classic rock. You
Like-
know, makes you feel nice and old.
Well, I really don't consider that classic rock.
No.
The stuff we know of.
No, it's '90s alternative era to me. You know,
Yeah.
classic rock is '60s, '70s. You know,
Yeah.
That's why I was real young. I always thought classic. I kind of made the word I thought like classic. That meant like classical. It's like classical music mixed with rock. So I always thought, well, that's like well, talk about Kansas more with the violins and all that kind of stuff. That sounds like classical to me. Or, and Queen with the opera and all that.
Oh, my
But,
God.
no, they meant classic as in it's timeless, and it is. It's timeless. I think that music is going to outlive us all. All that stuff. It's
good
each
stuff.
generation will find it. Yeah. It's just because it was new, fresh. They were pioneering sounds then. And I guess there's still new sounds to be made, and I think that's why a lot of that's just with the following technology and making different sounds with what the tools they got. There's only so much I suppose you can do with the guitar, bass, and drums. But it's been done quite a bit. At this point.
I got a buddy who I work with. He used AI. He put his lyrics into it.
Yeah, I've got a few friends that sent me things like that.
It's like, dude, that sounds good.
Yeah.
He goes, believe it or not.
I don't know what to think of it.
Yeah, he goes, believe it or not, Dave. He goes, that's how I imagined it, how it would sound. I said, no kidding.
Well, I guess you're able to go and you can write the lyrics, like put verse, chorus, and all that, and you tell it like what style you want it to be in. And it just, I don't know.
It's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't like it. I take offense to it personally, but
yeah. I mean, I know.
it's cool to put artists and musicians out of work. This stuff,
Yeah.
it's kind of that's a slippery, weird slope. This AI business, but
Which I get it. That's probably how things are going. This new age of everything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but
that's the thing. I think it makes me feel like, okay, I'm officially old now. It's like this thing I just don't really get. It's like this is kind of over my head. And so,
well, even to this day, I don't stream music.
No,
I don't stream it.
I've got the Spotify. I do. Sometimes it's nice, and if I don't have
I get it, but my daughter goes, "You're just old." I went,
So how do you like when you're in your vehicle, you just got CD player, got the CDs going?
Who, me?
Like when you're driving, you get the CD player in your trucks. Or,
I got jump drive.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I love
No,
music.
I see. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, I play my CDs. Go on my Corolla and my.
Yeah, these newer vehicles, man, they just have.
They don't have. They don't have. Well, you need them for that exactly. So you need something like a Spotify.
Yeah, my daughter goes, "You're just old," I went, "Yeah, I know that, but it doesn't cost nothing to put a CD player in these things."
Yeah. I always like when I go to find something on Spotify, it's not on there, but I have it in my collection. I'm like, well, that's why I've got it. I've got the physical copy. Thank you very much. I don't need your Spotify.
Yeah, I'd rather have physical copies, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm that old collector mentality. I've got with the music like this huge tons of CDs and DVDs and Blu-rays. Another one. I'm a big movie freak. I love my movies too, and good soundtracks. I mean, you can get into that. Talk about music with the different soundtracks of like John Williams and Ennio Morricone. And there's amazing music there to be found. John Carpenter, I love how he scored his.
Oh my God!
With this, and I saw him in concert.
Dude. Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I saw he's played up in Detroit at the what was it called? The Masonic. What was the name of the place? It looked like this big church in the middle of the slums. It looked like something out of one of his movies. It looked like something out of Prince of Darkness or something, man. And yeah, it was him on the keyboards playing like all these little music things that came up.
Oh, so he actually played that.
Yeah. He scored all his movies. And he's just playing like music from Halloween, They Live, the thing, and all that. And he had his son had a band backing him up. And a lot of it's put me in mind of like with this band behind it, put me in mind of like Tool and Radiohead stuff. It's really, really good, man. It was very cool, They had like images of his movies playing behind him as they played it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a fun show. I love some John Carpenter. He actually he wanted to be play keyboards in a band. That's where he started out, and he went into the movies,
Well, He did pretty good for himself.
He did all right.
Yeah.
He did all right.
He did not
yeah.
do too bad.
The Thing is one of the greatest films of all time. That's another one I've probably seen
The Thing, huh?
100 times. Oh, John Carpenter's The Thing. That's that's a whole other. Get me on movies. I won't shut up on that as well.
That's awesome.
Music and movies is my two big things there for sure. Loving your collection, all this vinyl. You definitely got me
Well, thanks, sir.
dwarfed on the vinyl for sure, man. I could look through that all day for sure.
Dude, that shit's a mother to move.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I bet.
Well, these here, all these records and stuff were in the CDs and a little bit of equipment over here was in a room, 175 square foot. It was tight.
Yeah,
It was tight.
I guess so.
It was almost too tight. So, we made a decision.
Yeah, my library is probably about half this size. Probably it's a little room, but it's just all the way around.
Yeah. Lots of
Movies and music, and it's
nothing wrong with that.
no. I still collect stuff. Every now and then, there'll be something come out, and I've got to have that.
Yeah, gotta get it.
And have the physical copy of that for sure.
Unfortunately, I'm the same way. So, well, if it's a big band I really like, I'll get it on vinyl, and plus I'll get the CD of
Well,
it.
yeah, like these reissues, like something like the Steve Wilson remixes and stuff like that. It's fun to have that stuff for sure.
Dude,
And a lot of that, you go back and listen to your old CDs, and they're real quiet. They do need to be remastered.
Yes.
Know,
Yeah, like your first pressings. Like I got first pressing Iron Maiden CDs and stuff, and let me tell you,
it's probably night and day when you.
the volume's down off of it.
Yeah.
But back in it was like really
It sounded
loud.
good then. I think especially for like stuff like the prog music and all that has all the dynamics.
Yes.
I like it for that because it seems like so much music is just how loud can we make it?
Mm-hmm.
Especially like a lot of the metal stuff, like the drums, everything's just so in your face, and for me, it lacks.
It's annoying.
It lacks the dynamics, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't have I like when stuff gets down, gets kind of quiet, and playing on little rim shots, and it's real loud again. King Crimson's such a masters of that, like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the Lark's Tongues, where they bring
Yeah.
it way down and it just gets super powerful, and
Yep.
yeah, I love them. I did get to see them at the Palace back in '96.
Jeez.
Yeah, on their Thrack tour, they had like 3 drummers behind them, and it was killer. They were
Dude,
killer.
you've seen a lot of shows.
It's a few. It's yeah. Definitely feel like I said, 80s and 90s. There's quite a few. It's pretty much every weekend was something.
Yeah.
But his last 5-6 years, I've really slacked off.
It happens.
And well, yeah. Plus, like the cost, and plus it's just not that much I want to see. Like back then it was. I don't know. There's still some bands.
I think last concert I went to was Queensryche and Judas Priest.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice.
Down in Cincinnati.
Yeah, what was the last one I saw? It's probably Zappa Plays Zappa, probably. It's probably Dweezil.
Well, that's a good one then.
Yeah,
So.
in Cincinnati. And I don't know. I've probably seen him 9, 10 times. What's the band you think you've seen the most times? Probably. I think
Who, me? Oh, it's Iron Maiden.
It's Maiden.
Well, Maiden and Clutch. Seen them both 4 times.
Yeah. I've seen Clutch a few times. They put on a killer show. There was that Bonner I talked about 2007. They had a keyboard player playing with them then. Gave them a cool sound. I think it was that Beale Street Blues album, maybe.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Powerful. I love that. Another great drummer, man. Great drummer. Well, yeah, Rush I've seen 19
Paul Glasser.
times.
Yeah.
I've seen probably Acoustic Hookah. I've seen probably 10 or 12 times just because when they're hookahvilles.
Yeah.
And followed Fish for a bit. I've probably seen them 10 or 12 times. Just following them around. I was really into them in the mid-late 90s.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like everything they do now.
That's a
kinda
big old
sounds the same.
jam band right there.
Yeah. They kept remind me to me that when I first heard them, it sounded like to me like the Grateful Dead meets Zappa. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
never a huge Deadhead, but always respected what they did.
Yeah.
With they come out, one of those bands like the Allman Brothers come out, no set list. You don't know what they're going to do. They don't know what they're going to do. And it just takes all these left turns, and I've always found that fascinating.
Yeah.
I always thought that'd be a dream gig, really, to be in a jam band like that, to go out and just explore musically and have people love it.
Yeah.
And travel around the world doing that. It's
And you're
wonderful.
just out farting around.
Yeah, because because some of these bands playing the same song over and over, being that band has that one hit, and you got to play it every night.
Yeah.
That would get pretty old. I mean, I can think of worse gigs for sure in life, but
Because I know a lot of people, they're hooting and hollering and stuff about Iron Maiden's
their set list.
Yeah, their set list nowadays. So, man, they're playing the same songs, I was like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
That
I'll take what I get when they come around. That's fine with me.
I
Whatever.
mean, in a way, they have to play a lot of those songs.
There's certain ones they got to cover. Yeah.
You have to play Trooper. You got to play,
Under the Hills.
Yeah, Run to the Hills, Flight of Icarus. Hallowed be Thy Name. They.
Yeah, this one I was never super crazy. I mean, it's a good song, but it's always been like kind of just Hallowed by the Night. They play it every time I see them. They play it, and I was just kind of long. I don't know. It's just like Rhyme with Ancient Mariner, and even longer one. That was always my favorite. Doing that prog stuff.
I've always wanted to then play Back to the Village or something like that.
I love that one. Love that one. That opening guitar line he does is so good.
Or even Flash of the Blade. Beginning that.
I first heard that song on a movie called I think it's called
Creepers.
That's
yes.
it. Yeah, old cheesy.
Because I had that on. I had the soundtrack on cassette.
Yeah, and I heard that. Like, what's that, man? And it's like the young Jennifer Connelly.
Yes.
Or she summons bugs or some crazy, some cheesy '80s horror flick.
And I had a Motorhead song on there called Locomotive.
Okay.
Probably the heaviest song Motorhead has ever released.
Why can't I remember that one?
I don't know. Is there? Well, was there any car crash? That like a big car crash, you got the cops and stuff like that.
I have to go back and watch that just for that.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
And he goes, I'm a locomotive. In the Lemmy voice.
Yeah, he's so awesome. So in that Air Arena, I saw him. He had that green light on his face. They played Reptile, and he had those big warts. And dude just looks metal, you know what I'm saying? Even though he defies that, we play rock and roll.
Yeah, he always said that. He goes, we're not a metal band.
We
We play rock and roll.
Remember us? We are Motorhead. We play rock and roll. They certainly did, and they lived it like they preached it for sure, man. It's unbelievable he lived as long as he did.
Oh, my God.
How's that possible?
What were they saying? If he
how's
actually,
Ozzy still alive? There's a few of them. Like, how's he still alive,
Especially Ozzy.
Yeah,
He should have been
Ozzy.
dead years ago.
Another one that blows my mind is Sly Stone still lives. And it's like, how's that guy
Who?
still? Sly and the Family Stone. That guy's still alive.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still kicking it.
God, I thought he was dead 20 years ago.
Yeah, all the different drugs he's been on and stuff. That was a kick-ass, man. That Woodstock footage of them. Oh, man.
They were funk.
Yeah, funky,
Straight
heavy.
funk.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, they were what you call like it's a heavy funk. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Larry Graham, but I think he's one of the first to really kind of use that thumb, get that driving bass, man. Good stuff, yeah. I love that.
Go love it.
Mm-hmm.
Something? I've never met anybody who went to Woodstock. I haven't met anybody yet. But
I almost went to. I'm glad I didn't. With the 30th anniversary was the big train wreck, and none of those bands quite had the Woodstock aura to them. Limp Bizkit and Korn and all that. Man. Yeah, I don't know. I can't recall anybody that's actually been to the Woodstock. I know it sounds like it was a pretty rainy, messy affair. Actually, it's more mythologized, I don't think it's probably just a muddy ass, dirty show. I'm sure some people are like, I just want to leave. I want to go home.
You figure probably about 90%.
You're going to see Hendrix, and he's not playing till 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Yeah, he had to sit through Sha Na Na to see. He finally comes out at 10 in the morning, man. There's like maybe 40,000 people.
It's like, wake up.
And they paid him he got the lion's share. He got a huge paycheck for playing
As he should
that
have.
show. Yeah.
He played twice.
At Woodstock?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he played twice.
I didn't think he did that, really.
I think he, the first day or something like that. Then on the last day he played.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's wild.
I believe so.
Huh. That's crazy. Just that they were so behind with trying to bring different bands in and everything. You know what I'm saying? Such a mess. But why I watch that footage is definitely Sly and the Family Stone. Strikes me as the
Richie,
winner.
Yeah.
And then Santana and then
the whole Richie Havens thing.
that was fun.
Well, yeah.
We had to keep playing because the next band wasn't showing up.
It was like, where the hell they at?
Yeah, so had to just keep
then
playing.
that's when he did his famous song.
What's
the name of it? He's sitting there. He's when he's
Motherless Child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's playing the guitar. He's got his thumb over it. Just
Yeah. I got that little bend over, make that chord that way.
Yeah.
I never could do that.
And he held it. And he just
big fingers. Yeah, Richie Havens. He's born the same day as me, that kid. But yeah, there's that was good. The Joe Cocker, that was so good.
Oh,
that was great. Yeah, love that footage. And the Monterey Pop footage is great.
Yeah,
that's where Hendrix is just clearly on fire, man. He set the guitar on fire and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah. Another thing I like to do, I pulled like 5 records.
What is it?
I pulled 5 records.
Yeah.
No way I'll pull them out, if you want to, say, well, that sucks, or, man, that was a good record.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Something you've got going on now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. Jesus.
Dirty Days. Done.
Yeah, they had my family had a printing company owned in Greenfield there. I mean, they had these like summer picnics for the employees and stuff, and they'd put this table out, different toys and things for the kids to grab something. For some reason, that this one year they had these on vinyl sitting for you to grab. And it's like a 10-year-old kid. It's like, I'll take that. They obviously had no idea what was on this, but that was one of my very first just albums I just grabbed for myself. It's got Big Balls, Squealer. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
dude, that song Squealer
little
bad
kids.
as hell.
Yeah, I talked to a buddy of mine not too long ago. It's like, yeah, I grabbed one of those. It's like, where were they giving that away? The little kid. They obviously had no idea what is on that, but that's probably that and High Voltage are absolutely mandatory. That's kind of like where you start at.
You gotta have it in your collection. But yeah,
I still got that vinyl. Yeah.
That's
Squealer. I fixed it good. Big Balls, rocker. Yeah, my first band was just me and a couple buddies, probably 12, 13. And we just basically took AC/DC riffs and put like dirty worse lyrics to it. I won't repeat here. And we're like these 12, 13-year-old virginous nerds. And we called ourselves Sexecutioner. But it was like playing AC/DC songs with even more disgusting lyrics. That's how I kind of started.
That's funny. It was fun. I think it was Friday at work. They played that song Big Balls over there. I was like, oh, my God.
Problem Child. Oh, what a great
And of course, you got Love at First Feel.
I love that. He told me I was disgusting. He told me it was a sin. You read some of the lyrics back then. They wouldn't fly today. Wouldn't fly. Of course, Right On, they stole that from Jesus. Just left Chicago, but we won't fault him for that because
it's good.
Right on Bond. No, that's top shelf right there. I love that. He pulled that one. What's going to happen now?
Ooh.
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely.
One of the
just talking about them, I believe. Yes, Mark II, Deep Purple.
Yes,
that was their first statement after doing the classical John Lord album. They did that first.
Yeah, the symphony,
the
orchestration and stuff like that.
And Blackmore was like, "How about we just do a rock album?" So
and by God,
rock.
And by God, 1970 hit because I think this here came out in September. Sabbath's first one came out in February.
Yeah. They were a little first. They came out.
But Zeppelin came out
69.
Yeah,
and of course Deep Purple had albums before
but
Zeppelin.
But nothing like this.
No. That's
I think it was to start off with Speed King.
Yeah, it's one of those. I was talking to somebody the other day. It's like there's certain songs by Deep Purple I can't listen to while I'm driving, or I will get a speeding ticket. Speed King, Highway Star.
And probably one of the best songs, one of the top 5 best songs ever recorded, I think, is Child in Time.
Yeah, that's killer. Though they
just that blood, huh?
They kind of ripped off that riff, though. Do you know that? Yeah. If you listen to an old San Francisco psychedelic band called It's a Beautiful Day, had a big hit with a song called White Bird. You know that one, White Bird. There's a song on there called is it Babylon or Bangladesh Sunset or something? But it's almost the exact. It's almost the exact note for note.
Oh, really?
Child in Time, yeah, it's almost the exact. They kind of lifted that one a bit, but yeah.
I think they all did back in.
Yeah, there's a lot of borrowing.
Borrowing.
Zeppelin owes, half their career to Willie Dixon, for God's sake.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. But that's a killer album, though. A Beautiful Day. If you ever see that one, that's one worth checking out. Mm-hmm. Guy playing the violin and singing, and it's good stuff.
But yeah,
fantastic album. Yeah, that's the start of. You had that one, of course, Machine Head. Yeah, that was just that's mandatory. Yeah, that's mandatory stuff, right?
Man,
there.
there's like 8,000 ways to play that song.
Yeah, Smoke.
But yeah, Child in Time. When he hits that blood curdling scream.
Oh yeah, Gillan's voice is sick on that, dude. It's like, what in the hell? No, that's brilliant. Mark II, Deep Purple, you can't go. But I'm talking about the original, the big 3 British hard rock bands. Zepp, Sabbath, and these guys. And live, you wouldn't want to follow these guys, man. You wouldn't want to follow that, man. Neither Zeppelin, neither Sabbath. I love them, but Purple was unbelievable, man.
But, I mean,
Ian Pace, what a drummer. He doesn't get mentioned enough.
Old lefty.
Yeah, unbelievable drummer. So fast. Very swinging jazz chops.
Yeah, Glover just...
He's pretty the straightforward hippie bass player of the band. So I will admit, I mean, imagine if you did, I love Glover. I wouldn't do it, but pop him out and put Glenn Hughes in there. You know what I'm saying?
That dude there had a voice.
What a voice! Him and Coverdale together, Jesus.
But I mean, Glenn, he had that blues.
Yeah, they were more blues, and they took him in that direction where they're trying to get almost, I don't say Motown, but kind of funky.
Yeah.
And that's when Blackmore went and made Rainbow, which is
that's
another one. Yeah.
I still think Rainbow Rising.
Yeah.
To me, that you take Rainbow Rising and you take Judas's Priest, Sad Wings of Destiny. To me, that is
getting like the first metal kind of true metal.
Those are metal albums.
Yeah, I agree.
I
agree. It's kind of the stripping a lot of the blues and stuff from it. And it's just chugging guitars and very heavy. And
I mean, we
because like something like this. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely see the roots of metal in there, but no, there's still very much. There's a blues idiom in there very much.
Yeah, just
absolutely.
like all the basically all the Sabbath records with Ozzy.
Yeah.
Up to a certain point.
Heavy doomy blues.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, it's good stuff.
Is it ever?
but that's a gotta be a must own.
Yeah, those are two, absolutely.
Yeah, we talked about those earlier.
Oh my God, yeah, dude, that's the. Woo.
This is first U.S. pressing.
Nice. That cover, that flipping cover, that mascot, huh? They scored with that. Oh, Eddie, yeah, that's my second favorite Maiden album personally.
Yeah,
and there's a song on there it's so different from anything they've done before. A sense of that, and the Prodigal Son song. Yeah. They sound like they sound like they want to be Rush or something on there. It sounds like a prog rock band. You really hear the prog element in there.
And it's put together really well when you listen to it.
Yeah, that's a classic. Is it Murders in the Rue Morgue on that one?
Yes, yes, it is.
And what's the instrumental called? Is it Transylvania? That's on the first one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Transylvania.
It's on the first album.
Was it Genghis Khan? No, Ides of March.
Yeah, Killers. Yeah, what a great album. Genghis Khan. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Ides of March. Yeah, that little opening instrumental.
Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun,
yeah, Raw Child, Murders in the Rue Morgue.
That was so badass.
Always liked that song, Another Life. It's just a straight up rock and roll song.
I like that one too. So once you get the fill at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's I put that second to Power Slave, and that's it. I would put that above Beast. I'd put that above Peace of Mind. Even the first one. I know that's your favorites.
Yeah.
The production on that one always bothered me.
It's raw.
Yeah.
It's a raw record.
Yeah, I like when Martin Birch got a hold of him and gave him the more kind of polished sound.
Well, they actually wanted him
for the first album.
For the first one, but they were.
He did. He's the one that did Deep Purple. And
I'd be afraid too.
Yeah. In fact, he's in Rock. That was Martin Birch, I do believe. Right?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Yeah, he had a good ear for that stuff.
Yeah, he had a pretty good ear for rock and roll.
Those are three essential, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
So right out of the gate, not doing too bad.
Yeah, those are in my collection.
We're talking Rainbow. I don't know if you're familiar with this one.
No, you've stumped me here.
Bent Out of Shape.
No.
This is
you've stumped me here.
Jolene Turner.
She's pretty on the cover, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a little wobbly, but to me, this here is aside from the Dio records that he did with Rainbow, which are phenomenal. This here would be my go-to.
This is Joe Linton. So they had the one, what was the big hit they had?
Street of Dreams.
Yeah.
It's on here.
That's on that one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I know that one.
Yeah, it's a great record. If you ever get
I'll have to check it out. I'll have to just,
oh my God. It starts off with a song called Stranded, and it's just straight out ripper, man. It's such a good record.
Definitely one of those I need to...
There we go. Yeah, you got Stranded, Can't Let You Go, which is a slower song, but it's when you hear the
83. Okay.
Yeah. And Fool for the Night, Fire Dance. I mean,
Crack Man probably got Glover after he kicked him out of Deep Purple and he asked him to play in Rainbow. Like, huh?
Yep.
Of course, Glover said yes. I'm not doing anything currently.
But yeah, I mean, like you say, you know, it's straight up banger. This
I will
record.
check it out.
It
Absolutely
there-
nice.
There was not one, as I would say, there's not one turd on this bad boy.
Nice. I will check. Yeah, they're one of those. I can't say that I've listened to every album, so I will check it out.
Yeah.
Definitely one of those first couple ones with Dio. I wore those out back in the day.
They were great records and
Nice.
But yeah, this here, the first time, the first CD I've ever bought was this.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. And when I started this record collection, probably about 20, 25 years ago, again, I had to, this was my main focus was to get this on vinyl. So
That's a left field choice there, and I wasn't expecting that. I was like, what?
I
I will
love it.
check it out.
Like I say,
I like it. No, that's cool.
it's a great record.
I will have to check it out.
There you go, a little bit of.
for sure. Oh yeah,
There's some thrash in here.
Yeah. Killer live. They're so good live. I just saw them the one time. I was talking about that was one of the loudest shows ever, and they opened for Motorhead. Motorhead opened for Slayer. And I think that was the one had "Hello from the Gutter" on it. That was the album after this one, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Years of Decay.
Yeah, I think that's it. That was it. Yeah. No, it's killer. This is killer though. I love it. Dude's got an awesome voice and shredding guitar, and yeah, Overkill's wonderful. You know.
And you know they haven't changed their sound at all. Hardly.
No,
You know?
I think I stopped listening to him around Horoscope, but the stuff I have heard from him, it's like, hey, it still sound like
Yeah.
Overkill. I suppose they're named after the Motorhead song. It
Yep.
kind of started thrash with the and the double bass drums. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
What's that?
Motorhead started thrash.
Oh, well, I think so. Definitely the kind of first kind of crossover of
Yeah,
metal
the song
and
Overkill.
punk. And
Yeah.
the song Overkill, I mean, it's got Filthy Phil. It's just the all the way through it. So, yeah, I love that song.
Yeah.
It has like the 2-3 false endings in it. And it keeps going. It comes back in again. I love it. Yeah.
Then it goes.
Nah, great band. I love them. The guitar player went on to do some band with some girls. It was like a thrash. What was the name of them? They were pretty cool. Can't remember the name of it, but it was.
Was it Bobby Gustafson? He left.
Yeah, who the guitar player's name was. But when they're talking about like the big four thrash, Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax.
Yeah.
There's always who would be the fifth. Yeah, they I think them. It's either them, Exodus,
Yeah.
or Testament. But I'd probably have to go Overkill because they represent the East Side. You know, like Jersey boys, aren't they?
Yeah.
Nah, killer thrash. Yeah, I love it. Those early Overkill albums.
Their first one's
Very
really good.
steely,
too.
good mix to them. They just have a great sound to them for
It's
sure.
like Feel the Fire at first records.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn good.
Nice.
But yeah. I mean, some of their.
Hello from the gutter. Yeah.
The Wrecking Crew, Fear His Name, Use Your Head, Fatal Swallowed. I mean, you know.
That sounds like early thrash.
Power Surge and Union, We Stay in Electro Violence and Overkill.
It's funny how you had like and it just became a battle of extremes after that. And you had like the death metal,
Yeah.
grindcore, and I just got that like, the stuff with the Cookie Monster lyrics now. I can't do a lot of that. It could be musically interesting, but I kind of like to somewhat know what kind of be able to tell what they're saying.
Yeah.
I like when they had the high screeching voices. I like some of that. It's like
Most like.
Anselmo from Pantera on
Yeah.
Cowboys from Hell. He's really wailing,
Yeah.
like Medicine Man and stuff. He's hitting these high notes, and he just kind of stopped doing it.
Then a
He's like,
couple albums later, like, damn, my voice is gone.
yeah, that's probably it. Became more of a low guttural.
Yeah.
I saw them right before they blew up.
Oh, did you?
Pantera at the Newport.
No kidding.
Yeah, that was with Exodus, and ST opened for Exodus. And that's when we had Rob DiGiulio on bass, and this up and coming band called Pantera, and they tore it up, man. They tore it up. And we didn't even watch Exodus that night. I'd already seen them like 5 or 6 times. We went backstage and we ended up smoking a J with Rob DiGiulio, back here talking to him. And this dude comes up, "What are you MFers doing?" And Selmo came back here and hanged out with us. And he was wild acting, man. He was funny. Jeff on back of this little hunchback. He was going down the alley and just being real crazy acting. And it's probably a month later that video for Cowboys from Hell hit, and they just blew up, man. Blew up.
Who knew?
Yeah, they blew up. That was a fun night.
Yeah, their 80s stuff's really not that bad, dude.
Oh, when they were kind of more glam before. In
Yeah,
some,
it's not bad.
Yeah, I always saw them. To me, they were like the Van Halen of thrash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you had this amazing drummer who'd be a star in any band he's going to be in, but he's got this younger brother
That
that's
rips.
from a different planet, and the charismatic wild ass singer, and the guy on bass.
He kept it
He
right
did,
on.
but yeah, he just is going.
They put a fill in.
And old Rex. But yeah, they always put me on of definitely them because hearing Dimebag for the first time, that's just a whole nother evolution of the guitar.
Before they even blew up.
Yeah. That's I saw them on that right before they blew up, and I saw them again at it's gone now, but Vets Memorial with they opened for Skid Row. This is kind of a strange. Yeah, I remember in some of them making fun of the crowd because they weren't starting a pit, you know. And that kind of sounded muddy there. That was on the vulgar display, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the 2 times I've seen him.
And that was a ripper of a record.
Oh yeah, well, a lot of people consider that their best.
Yeah.
And I can understand, but to me it's Cowboys, and it's got the overplay ones on the first side. That second side, the deep tracks on that one.
Yeah.
Oh man, but the one I just mentioned, Medicine Man, the Sleep is so good.
Yeah.
What's the one? Message in Blood. Just crazy intricate changes, man. It's so good. And the stuff he's doing with the whammy bar, it's just so oh man.
I mean, he'd make that stuff
Steely.
cry.
Yeah.
Make it cry.
I almost did that Damage Plan show. I'm glad I didn't.
Actually,
Rosavella, yeah.
buddy of mine asked me if I wanted to go to it.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I know it's like, you going to that?
I said, dude, I got work. Well, come find out, he got called into work. I went,
Probably glad he went to work that night.
Jesus.
Yeah, sick.
That's
They've torn that place down. It's gone now, Rosavilla.
Yep, no more.
Saw a lot of cool shows there.
Only seen 2 there.
Yeah.
Got to see Machine Head, and Thin Lizzy.
So a buddy of mine who's passed as well. You probably remember Millennia, and probably remember Ryan Coyer. He had a band called MG Flash.
Oh yeah, I got their stuff.
Yeah. Great guy, man. He's sorely missed, but they played up there quite a bit. I saw them up there one time, open for King's X.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think they were up there one time. They opened for like Molly Hatchet or something. But they were kind of mainstays up there. They were playing up at the Arosa quite a bit.
Paul's a good dude.
Oh yeah,
Paul Ramey.
Yeah, he's great.
He was actually when I first started this back up or whatever. I really got doing this.
Oh, have you had him in here?
Yeah, he was my first guest.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had lots of stories for sure.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Good
dude.
Yeah, he was talking about the recording workshop. Mm-hmm. You know, about everything. Everybody's been in and out there.
Yeah, I've done a lot of sessions there. I actually did the course back in '89. But yeah, I've been in and out of there playing with different people, and it's such a cool local thing to have.
Oh my God!
And I think that's because a lot of people ask, because like, why is there is such a strangely large music scene kind of in the Chillicothe area.
Yeah,
a lot
there
of
is.
original bands, and I think that recording workshop has kind of helped, kind of give maybe some people an incentive to be in a band. It's like, they got a studio you can record that for free, for God's sake. You know? So yeah, that was.
Yeah, because my buddy, I don't know if you remember a band from the '80s called Epitaph.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I recorded. I was in one of their sessions.
Brent Beaver
in '89. Yeah,
because Brent graduated a year ahead.
Yeah,
of
Brent
me.
Beaver. He's in a band now called the Shotgun Taxi or something. I think it is, and I'm friends with the damn drummer on Facebook. He's always posting cool stuff. It's like the exact same musical taste. What's the cat's name?
Yeah, they play all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
man.
I had that. I picked up their tape at Street Beat. The cassette.
Yep.
I looked like a little dude, like making a sacrifice on the cover or whatever.
Yes.
And I loved it. I thought, this sounds great. But, one of the sessions we recorded was up in the studio was up on the hill.
Yeah.
We recorded one of the Epitaph was in there. Really cool guys, man.
Yeah.
Definitely kind of doing thrash, man. Like thrash. Actually, a buddy of mine, when we went to put together the band I talked about earlier called Punishment, or I think it was right after, we were trying to find a new bass player, and we had talked to the guy who played bass for Epitaph. Mm-hmm. Almost kind of snagged him to play with us.
But yeah, he was a nasty guitar player.
Yeah.
Well, he still is.
Yeah.
Brent just look at that stuff. It's nothing to him.
Yeah. He was killer.
Oh my God.
He was killer. He had a cool vibe to him.
But yeah, we used to my buddy
MacArthur, right? Come on, MacArthur.
Yeah. My buddy lived over by Brent. We just walked across these people's yards, go over there, and Brent be
We'll
over
stone
there.
jam in there.
Yeah, be out. And this was back in there early, probably around 84, 85 or
Yeah,
whatever.
man.
There he is, in, down basement or whatever, playing his Les Paul.
Nice.
Just he'd be over playing Judas Priest. He was a huge Priest fan.
Yeah.
He loved Priest.
That's the stuff that gets you too when you're a young kid, like, and you see somebody just shredding like that. For
Yeah,
the
it's
first
like-
time, it gets kind of.
It's like, Jesus.
I want to do that, you know.
Because I don't think he really took a lot of guitar lessons or anything like
A
that.
self-taught guy. Yeah.
I mean, he just had that.
Yeah.
He was stupid good.
Yeah. That was
Of course,
a cool band.
he's still stupid good.
Yeah. I haven't seen them in a long time, but
Yeah.
I'm sure. But definitely. No,
Remember
Paul
at the-
pretty well. Probably a band that was I thought could be next level touring was his band he had called Grinstone. That was a badass band. And he was a front man doing his big wailing and stuff, but he had like a really, really tight band behind him.
Yeah.
Remind me of some of these good thrash bands we're talking about. I was like, I think of bands around this area could have taken it next level. Them, MG Flash was great. There was a band, kind of a folky band a while back of these brothers called the Lewis Brothers. Remember them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were. I thought they were going to be like, we'll see them on Austin City Limits one of these nights. Man. Such a great band. Yeah.
I mean, even back in the 80s and stuff, dude, there was a ton of bands. I mean, I don't know if you ever heard of a band called White Friday.
Yeah. It's the bass player's a good friend with the Christy Haddon I just talked about was in the Temple Street Highlanders.
Yeah.
Good friends with the bass player, and I got to play with them a couple times.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Because I got their release on a cassette, and I got a demo of when they got a new lead singer. I got
Okay.
it. Then the release after that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like to hear that. I'm not too familiar with
Oh,
them.
dude.
Yeah.
This song called Molotov Love.
I like that title. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the Osborne brothers playing guitar and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty tight stuff.
Yep, I've heard him. Like I said, I met the bass player, and Christy's good friends with him. Very cool. Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty cool to see them play.
Yeah.
I got to see them play.
Nice. Yeah, they got fairly little bit of success, right? I mean, they kind of, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think they
For
hit.
a local band, you know.
I think they hit probably like the college towns and stuff like that, and probably played up in Columbus a good bit.
Yeah.
So,
Very cool.
but yeah, they were tight. They
Yeah.
were tight. But that song Molotov Love is bad as hell.
I like the title.
I'll play it for you.
Very cool.
But yeah,
A lot of cool bands out of Chillicothe.
yeah,
I love.
dude, it was a big melting pot back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of bands out playing.
Yeah, we played with a few of them in the '90s and stuff. We always played
Yeah,
the
true.
Stardust. Out there, played there quite a
some
bit.
truth be told, I probably watched you play out there.
Yeah, I'm sure our paths have crossed for sure.
Oh,
We've
there-
had to have, man. Yeah. Definitely. Have you been ever go to shows like Will's Pew Hole out there?
No, never went to any shows and stuff. But
I played there a bunch with Pothole Punishment. Temple Street played there and had parties.
yeah,
Played there quite a bit. And then my buddies, the Humboldt Hills, we had a lot of shows up there. It was a lot of fun. The shows, Lewis Brothers came up there. Millennium did the original Skink Fest back in '97. Millennium was up there. And
Millennium's
of
pretty
local
good.
bands.
I
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
got
yeah.
Millennium's first thing on
I've got
CD.
I don't have their second one. I got their first. I need a copy of that second.
Yeah,
CD.
Paul.
Yeah. But I got the first one. It's got the nun whipping a guy or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but it's killer, man. It's good. I've got all the MG Flash stuff. It's all wonderful.
Yeah,
Good stuff, man. Yeah.
MG Flash is pretty good. Old Whiskey Dick.
Had that little kind of funk sound to it.
Yeah.
He's got that badass 12-string bass. It sounds so cool.
Yeah.
I actually we tried a little project a few years ago, but tried to do a thing where it was there's 3 bass players and a drummer, and I was the drummer. That was Paul, and it was Preston Dine on bass.
What was it,
and,
Big Bottom?
Yeah, we're trying to do some Spinal Tap.
Darter.
We tried that. We did one little jam session. That was enough. And a guy named Paul Viney was the other bass player. You know Paul Viney at all? You know him? Yeah, he's a fantastic musician, man. Killer. He's got a few of his CDs he's made just by himself, where he's playing everything. It's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Dude's incredible. Amazing. It's like one of the baddest bassists you'll ever hear.
Really?
Just funks it up, dude. Gets real funky and do all this stuff. And I know a bunch of killer bassists, it seems like. I love playing bass.
Yeah.
My buddy Jay Wow, he can go all Primus, like Les Claypool style. And very cool.
There's a
man.
lot of good musicians around Chillicothe.
There really is. There's something in the waters down in these parts. Just from the little town I come from, there's a lot of music talent in Greenfield.
Oh my God. Well, I don't know if you know Nick Hadley.
Yeah. I was went to school with his. I was in band with his dad, Jeff.
Yeah, he came in for a.
Is he one of your guests?
Yeah.
He's like death metal guy.
Yeah, oh
singer,
my God,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of extreme stuff. Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Yeah?
He's a good dude.
Jeff's
man.
a good. He's a really sweet guy, man. Good guy.
But
we
yeah,
did
Nick-
scouts with him and everything, Boy
Yeah.
Scouts.
Yeah, Nick he plugged in guitar, man. He started jamming. It's like,
Nice.
hey, that's cool, man.
Very cool. Yeah.
He's not a bad guitar player.
Yeah.
I guess in his other side project, or the band he's in now is Barrel Oath.
Yeah.
They're pretty tight.
I've heard some of it.
I mean, it's got a groove to it.
Heavy duty. I like it. I like seeing it. Yeah, it's
I
cool
mean-
to see something like that just coming out of Greenfield. I was playing metal out of Greenfield back in the day. And
Yeah.
Mostly known for its country, Paycheck, and the Adams brothers, the
Yeah.
three Adams brothers that played with Paycheck and played with George Jones, and they played with all kinds of people. And I think it's just the ones alive now. But one of their nephew, Randy Adams, he's one of the first guys I played with in a band. He was a drummer. He's still probably the greatest drummer I've ever played with.
Really?
There's something in that Adams blood, man. All of them are just musically just.
They got it.
He's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could do this thing. Randy Adams back then. I remember jamming with him. He had those rototoms that spin, and he'd do this thing where he'd do a roll from the bottom up, and he'd get on the rototoms, and he'd go up to the highest rototoms, and he starts spinning it while he's just playing it with one hand. And it sounded like the toms took off into space or something. You know what I'm saying? It was just I've never heard anybody else do this. We just get the one hand roll going, and he was Randall the Animal, man. He was a beast on the drums, but he could like pick up a guitar and like sing like a damn George Jones song to you. Just sound just
shit.
like him. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Yeah, talented family. That's just little Greenfield,
Yeah.
Something in the waters down these ways,
Yeah.
I guess.
Because I think Bainbridge, a dude named Jimmy Fleming.
Oh, I was going to tell you, if you want to get a good person for stories and such, Fleming's. You need him in here if you can get it. He's all elusive.
Yeah.
He's a tough one to get. But
Yeah.
I used to play in his band, Black Cat Mass. I played bass for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did some shows with
He's
him.
a hell of a guitar player.
He's a hell of a guitar. You want to see him really shine? Just him with a detuned 5-string, just jamming with himself is one of the most phenomenal things you'll ever see.
What do you mean by detuned?
He's got a tune like kind of like Keith Richards did. It's just as a 5-string telly, and he's got like an open tuning basically.
Oh, okay.
Got like an open tuning, and he sounds like he's got 4 pairs of hands, man. When he does that, it's the most insane thing.
Is it finger picking?
No, he's got like the pick. He's got this thing where he's like playing the damn rhythm and bass lines while he's throwing these leads in real quick, and it's just.
What the hell are you doing? Slow down.
Yeah, exactly. No, it really is. You watch like earlier footage of him; it's
Yeah.
insane. Like the speed and stuff. He's one of those that it did almost. Yeah, he was in talk with like what was it? Some record company out there.
Yeah.
He had a couple times where it almost kind of broke through to some career with and everything. But he'd be a good one for to have on here. Another fantastic. One of my favorite guitarists in there is Chad Stout. Is an amazing guitarist, man. He plays with Billy and Will now in the Moss Harvey gang.
Yeah.
He's their guitarist. He's a lot of fun to jam with. He's one of those. We'll kind of go back and forth, play a lick, and he'll play it, And he's got just great ear, and he's just he's one of them tone chasers. His tone is always spot on, man.
Yeah.
Every time I've seen him, he sounds really good. He had with the band, Gypsy Jug Band. They were pretty tight.
Pretty good.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, like I told Billy and Will and stuff. I like what the Majestic Theater's doing
Yeah, that's awesome.
down there with the recording
Yeah.
workshop.
Yeah, that's-
allowing these boys to hone their craft, so to speak. You
Yeah.
know, by getting bands in there, getting them set up and stuff. And
It's very cool.
I think that's awesome.
It's such a cool opportunity for local,
Yeah.
it's more of an incentive, we can play
Yeah.
play the Majestic, what I'm saying? Yeah, I've done that a couple of times. It's fun.
And it sounds good in there.
Yeah.
It sounds real good in there.
It's fun. It's a unique setting and yeah, good stuff. I don't know if Idiot. Yes, I played Will and Bill. The first band I played in a band called Idiot Fun Club back in the
Yeah,
day.
I remember
Played-
them.
Yeah. That band had more people go in and out of it than the Doobie Brothers. Because they were like a 4-piece, and my buddy Jay joined them on the dobro and singing.
Yeah.
And that's when they really started getting really good then. And the guitar player took off, and they had a battle of the bands coming up Chillicothe, and Jay hit me up. It's like, we need somebody to sit on guitar.
Oh,
So
shit.
I started jamming with him, and first met Billy Mitchell, and he's one of the best dudes ever, man.
Yeah.
And Will, I've known Will forever. Everybody knows Will, you know.
Yeah.
Willie Fly.
Billy's a pretty damn good drummer. isn't he?
He's a good drummer, and the thing that's really good about Billy, he can play the drums and sing.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
No.
Nah, it's not an easy thing.
Yeah,
It's
that's
kind of a
what
left brain, right brain thing. Not an easy thing to do.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what we were discussing and stuff. He goes, it's not easy.
Nah.
So I can't imagine.
He's a good songwriter too. He comes up with cool lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's been.
Yeah.
And Will comes up with some wild stuff.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, he had that like a 32 DeSoto, had like a 327 engine, whatever he said, you know.
Yeah.
That car would rock and rolling down the road. Because
Nice.
we'd leave school and stuff and hop in that 32, but
Yeah,
right down Route 50.
Nice.
Yeah. Those are good old days, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. I wish I would have known Mitchell sooner, actually, but that's probably around Idiot Fun Club. That would have been, 2011 probably or so. But,
Yeah.
but Will, I've known since like 88, 89. I remember coming and seeing like Punishment would play, and he'd be there. And,
But Will's a good dude. I like Will.
yeah, everybody loves him.
Well, he's easygoing.
Good storyteller, that's where I think Fleming would be a great guest for you.
Yeah.
You get him talking, you'll,
Just sit back.
yeah,
Let it roll.
for real. He's a man full of stories.
Yeah.
I don't have recalling stories not only that good with, but I can definitely whip out like these albums. I'll talk about them for sure. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, those 5 you picked were very nice, and I'll be checking out that Rainbow for sure.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah, that's
Like I say, it starts off as Stranded, then it does not stop.
just get you. Huh?
Of course, you know,
Yeah.
everybody knows, oh, Jesus.
What was it? We were talking about it. The Billy Joe Turner singing.
Oh, Jesus. I
What's the
forget.
name of it?
Street of Dreams, that's it.
Oh yeah, okay.
Had a complete brain fart. It happens when you get our age, I guess.
Mountain, Love Mountain.
Yep.
Leslie West, another great guitar player we could talk about. Kind of took the
Wicked blues player.
yeah, kind of took where Cream left off.
Yep.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, I love it. It was Felix Paparotti. He was kind of the producer of all that Cream stuff. Played the
Yep.
bass for him. He made an album with Leslie did with Jack Bruce. It's pretty killer. Had a super group
Yep.
with him. It was real tight. BLT, I think it was called. And the cover was like a big
Yep.
BLT sandwich. It's
Yep.
killer though. It's great. Love Jack Bruce. He's high on my list. I'm thinking of like going to talk about favorite bassists now. He'd have to be up there. My favorite's probably Chris Squire of Yes, because he's so unique. He plays it the way he dialed it in and played it with a pick. It was just it's like a lead instrument. You know what I'm saying when he played it. And just to shine in a band of nothing but maestros, like you had Rick Wakeman and Chris Squire, and the bass is the thing that catches your attention.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Then you hear the guitar player.
Oh,
The dude,
unbelievable.
I think he's like that tall and he looks
Yeah.
like a hobbit.
It's like it looks like Gollum to me. Steve Howe, now he does. He just looks scary. He still just does those crazy.
He rips it.
Yeah.
He rips.
Love that band, man. I love Yes. But yeah, Jack Bruce would be high. John Paul Jones, great bassist. Of course, Getty. Just from listening to so much, it's funny how you see because I got a lot of shit back in the '80s and stuff. Listening to them, it's like, oh, that's why you listen to that. And now they're like they're considered one of the greats. Now, whenever you see those polls, it seems like him and Getty and Peart are always on top of their,
Yep.
if not the top spot in the top 5.
Well, you can't deny that.
And then there's Alex, like number 96 or something. Always call you ever watch Ren and Stimpy? Or the littlest giant. I always called Alex the littlest giant of that band. But
But he was a phenomenal guitar player.
yeah, his best stuff was in the early days though.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is put like La Villa Scengiato on.
Yeah.
That one solo he does, and it just builds and builds. It's just
Yep.
so good. He's at the volume swells and it just gets. The intensity of it just keeps amping up.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that. Where, where it comes way down and just builds and builds and hits that peak, you know.
Then wow.
Yeah. And
It's like jumping up and hitting that gong.
yeah. There's so many of the jam bands, they all do that. Fish is big with that, and they get into some jam and it just gets louder and louder. And they hit this peak and they bring it back down and they do it again. Another great jam band these days, Humphreys McGee. You ever check them out?
I never heard of that.
They're killer. They're
Humphreys
killer
McGee.
live too. Really good.
You seen him?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised.
I've got the guy played Cajon, my buddy Corey Gam, play cajon with Temple Street Howlers. He's all about them. It's like his favorite band. He kind of heard some of their stuff, but he kept on talking to them more and more, and went and saw them and checked them out more and more. And yeah, they're pretty special. Kind of had that Fish type thing, kind of Zappa meets Dead, but throw in lots of more prog and even heavy, some metal elements in there. But yeah, they're one of those that comes out and you don't know what you're going to get, man. And they tear it up. Yeah. It's almost like one of those bands. It's like a religion doing that. Yeah. I can't imagine. I mean, I love music, but doing it night after night after night, you need a break. Yeah. Take a little break from it. That burnout will set in.
Oh, they keep kicking.
Yeah.
That's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's like AC/DC, man. Just keep plugging.
Oh, yeah. Of course, they're making mad money.
No. Stupid money.
Little 5'2", and I guess he cracks me up. I love watching that early footage of him. He's nuts, boy. He's still running around.
Jumping around.
Running around,
I wonder what they're hitting him with.
I think he's just drinking a nice cup of tea. I think he's teetotal. I don't think he drinks any beer or nothing. Yeah, his brother did.
Yeah.
But no, he's.
I think Angus probably quite a few years ago, and
he's
started drinking tea.
He's pretty straight laced for sure, clean and sober.
Yeah.
But I love seeing bands like that still going. It's fun. Yeah. Well, I like to see them in that Bond era though, like that album, just Dirty Deeds and all that good stuff. Whew.
Yeah, first time I heard them was back in the '79. Got the 45 for Walk All Over You.
Oh, that's a badass riff.
And Touch Too Much. Yeah. Love that song.
Yeah.
And then, seemed like a couple.
Highway to Hell album. That's so well produced.
Oh, my God. Robert Metling. But yeah, we went to town one day. Mom said, you guys can get whatever you want. I didn't even make it out of the A's. Ended up getting Highway to Hell.
Nice. It was a good choice.
On 8-track. Loved it.
Yeah.
Then I heard that song, Night Prowler, at the end.
That's my favorite, probably. AC/DC song. Yeah, that's brutal, dude. That's brutal.
It was funny.
Scary. Menacing on that one, man.
Yeah, because we were talking about this at work because they were playing Hell's Bells over the system and stuff. Told my buddy, I said, that, it's crazy. Back in 1980, everybody on our road had that record.
Yeah.
No matter where you went.
It was huge.
Ace Back in Black was being played.
I always said just for the longest time, like the 80s and 90s, driving back roads and drinking beers, whatever. And you saw on the sign, you'd always see Ozzy or AC/DC spray painted on signs for the longest time.
You don't see that anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, that's man, Night Prowler. God, that's brutal.
That's a good song.
And you just start screaming at the end. It was at the end of the Nanu Shazbot. That's probably my favorite AC/DC. And then Walk All Over You is such a menacing riff, man. So happy. The way the drums come in. Just, love it. Simple but effective. Sure.
It's a fat song.
Yeah.
Just
their mix is definitely just very fat, man. So that's one a lot of engineers turn to is that one, and the one, of course, the Black Album. It's considered like just masterfully produced.
It
is.
What I'm saying? Yeah.
Was that Mike Lang who did that one? Was he do Black and Black?
Yeah, he did that one, and he also did For Those About to Rock.
Okay.
It's funny because what was it? Way back when I think it was in 81 for Christmas. My sister bought me that vinyl.
Nice. For Those About to Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Of course, you open it up, it's got that concert photo.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. I pinned it up on the wall.
Yeah. I had a bunch of records like that one time. That's just like art, man. Put it on the wall.
And, I was listening to it. It's like, man, this is killer. Then Inject the Venom.
Yeah. Killer.
To me, that is their heaviest song they've ever
It is. It's heavy duty. Absolutely. Great album.
And then right after that, they released Flick of the Switch, which I think is a criminally underrated.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because it's about like Iron Maiden's first record. It's a raw record.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
It's good. Yeah. Flick of the switch will blow your sky high.
Yeah.
His voice, dude, crazy. Brian Johnson's voice. Buddy mine singing them. He's got a few bands with it. He'd be a good one for you to talk to. J.C. Alexander, Justin Alexander, Pointless Pleading. Have you heard of them? Great local band, but he does a good Brian Johnson. He can imitate his voice perfect. He's the drummer for the Thick Boys, the last band I was in. Yeah, and we were all pretty thick in that band. Actually, the guy to replace me, I suppose they're still playing, but I used to play with Millennium. Chris Crabtree, you might know. Yeah, he took my place in that band actually. I hope they're still going along. I haven't heard anything from for a while, but
Did Chris, does he live in Florida?
No, that's you're thinking about. Was it Seymour, the bass
Oh,
player?
yeah, Chris Seymour. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's still in Florida.
Is he pretty good bass player?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he was the one. He played bass for Grimstone.
Yeah.
Oh, he's solid. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He played with them. And I think he wasn't Millennium's bass. No, it was Paul.
Yeah.
But what other band he playing? And I get a lot of them mixed up. Played a lot of shows. Them cats like the Puke Hole and Stardust and stuff back in the day. All becomes a little bit of a blur.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I wouldn't mind getting him in here, but whenever he comes up from Florida or whatever.
Oh, Seymour, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you can get Jimmy Fleming, though, you would love that. Yeah. I'll probably shoot him a message, tell him about this. He kind of started to do something kind of like this a while back, actually.
Yeah.
Where he's talking to different people.
Yeah.
About music stuff, but
Get him in here, just pick his brain.
oh, he
Jimmy,
starts and he's just that's
what
it.
makes you tick, Jimmy? Well,
That sounds like him, weirdo Jimmy. Yeah, he's awesome, man.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Yeah, it was fun getting to jam with him, play some bass for him.
yeah,
And that was fun. Did a few pretty cool shows for sure.
yeah. Hot damn,
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, David, this has been fun.
Yeah, a lot of chit chat.
Yeah.
There's a lot to soak in.
Yeah, oh yeah. I got some things I need to check out for sure. That Rainbow album, and yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. What was the name with the Shone and the
HSAS.
yeah, Hagar, and I
Yeah.
have to check that out for sure.
Yeah,
man.
I'll play you a little bit of the White Friday.
Yeah, I would like to hear that for
Oh,
sure.
cassette,
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming out, taking the time to come out and just BS.
Absolutely, man. This has been fun.
Yeah,
All righty, buddy.
much appreciated.
Yeah, yeah.
Be kind to one another. Later, guys.